Oh, I forgot. I gotta do this.
You made a meme for me. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack.
Everything sucks. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. A bunch of countries are still turning around Donald Trump's deportation plan. He's not very happy about that. I saw that going on with Guatemala or somebody. It's like, no, you have clearance. Oh, wait, no, you don't. Whatever.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. I'm not in the greatest of moods. I don't know. I just been down lately, but we'll see how this goes. So please be aware. If you say something retarded in chat, I might fucking snap and show up at your house. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to support the show, go to coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. I know everybody's struggling right now. We are too. So if you want to support the show, do it. If you don't, okay, whatever. Thank you guys for joining us. I do have a video that I definitely want to go over. We talked about it before. Tyler Oliveira. Oliveira? I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. He's the guy that does the, oh, guys, I'm just asking questions. He made a post, actually. Let's go find this post. He made like a New Year's resolution post that it's in the video, but I also want to read it because before he's like, I'm an independent. I'm just asking questions. I cover both sides of the story. You can't do this and you can't call me that. And I'm just trying to put this good information out there, blah, whatever, right? Well, here's his post he made. Thank you all for your support over the last few years. 2 years ago, at the age of 23, I began traveling to interesting places and interviewing random people on the street with a microphone. While I believed I could do my best to balance the topics we discussed and to provide unbiased news by giving both sides of the conversation a platform, I have concluded unbiased news is a myth. So he's like, I started out to do unbiased news, but that's a myth, okay? It doesn't exist. All humans are subject to countless forms of bias, including me. The more of the world I see, the more my worldview has evolved. So what do you think he's going to announce? You think he's going to announce that he's now a socialist, communist, leftist, classical liberal? No? What made you think that? Most interestingly, the more I have spoken with and agreed with those branded as far rights, the more the left has made me their enemy. In 2025, the more I have spoken with and agreed with those branded as far right. So the more I agree with far right ideology, the more the left has made me their enemy. In 2025, I will continue to speak with anyone I find interesting. I will continue to explore interesting problems, places, and ideas to understand the world better. I will no longer hold back my conclusions out of fear and a fear of offending a loud minority of those who declare that certain conversations or ideas are off limits. I will be your vessel to explore the seedy depths of hell this world has to offer, and I will do my best to help you understand it. I will fight for those with common sense to have a voice in this world. Love me or hate me, I will give you my opinion, and you can do whatever you want with it. If that makes me a far-right fascist Nazi, then so be it. And he signs off as Tyler Hitleveria, coming to a city near you. I don't think anybody was surprised by this. I mean, it's a stupid post to make, right? you're kind of quartering yourself. I don't think anybody's. He obviously had an agenda when he went to like the Haitian dogs. Like Haitians are like, no, we're not doing it. And some fat bitch is like, my mama's great aunt's sister said that they was rounding them up, put them in a van to eat them. And I'm not saying we're Nazis, but if they want to come help us solve this problem, I'd help them. Like shit like that, right? I don't know. It's wild. Anyways, a show we've covered a few times. The Willie Mack show. Oh, shit. Did I click on something? The Willie Mack show. We covered this. And he does a pretty good job. We watched another YouTuber cover it over a video he did about the racist undertones and shit. Willie Mack just covers a lot of the factual stuff here, including this. I don't know. I think people that are current. I don't think it's always been like this. I don't know that it'll be like this in 100 years from now. But I think people on the right are more predisposed to accept some outlandish, crazy shit as a truth. So I think if you want to blow up, if you want an audience, if you want a bunch of people watching your view, if you want millions of views, you find something that the right's afraid of, and then you assert some fucking disproportional claim, some like fucking out of this world fucking claim, and they'll eat it up and spread it. Now you think, Will, you don't have any proof. Dude, it's been like, 8 years, and we still haven't found a single fucking litter box in a school. But do you know how many people believe that schools have litter boxes for some reason? They're more predisposed to believe that stupid shit. They have to be, dude. Look how quickly they all thought Haitians were eating cats and dogs. That's something they're afraid of. Brown people, right? If we would have told them that people from Switzerland were eating cats in Ohio, they'd be like, I don't know, right? They're more predisposed. Here's the video. Fuck it. Let me get you some audio first. This is the Willie Mack Show. Go check him out. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you're not already.
Tyler Oliveira portrays himself as a journalist.
Support our boots on the ground journalism.
Tyler Oliveira is a YouTuber turned investigative journalist who filmed this.
Putting himself in danger at the core of a lot of key
Oliveira, am I saying it wrong?
issues, whether that's the homeless crisis, drug epidemic, gun violence, immigration. It sounds brave until you realize he seems to over-exaggerate the danger he's in at times. It's him talking about how they're being followed, camera pans over, shows no one.
We gotta go. All right, so it's for real, we gotta go. Keep in mind, they may be right behind us. There's a guy coming.
So this is when they were. I've seen this video. He goes around with this Asian-looking dude who goes out and videotapes homeless people and says horrible things about homeless people, like they deserve it, they want it, they don't want help, kind of deal. But I remember this video. They claimed that they were being followed. Now, do you see anybody following them? They're like, the guy says, we got to go right now. That's the people. They're following us. Do you see any? Like, he could have at least staged somebody somewhere. Do you see anybody following them? There's a guy coming. Where? I don't know. I'm going to have to start making content like Tyler is the sad part. This fucking ain't cutting it.
Guy coming this way. There's another guy.
Where's the guy? I don't see him anywhere. They're like, we're going into a park full of homeless people. We need exit strategies.
Going to these camps, you have to have an exit strategy. I know all the entrances and exits. That's one. We know where to go. And just know that there are moving cars right now next to us going 80 miles an hour.
Do any of these cars look like they're going 80 miles an hour? Maybe 35. And that's if we're being generous. This guy got into a fight with a charity when investigating the homeless tunnels in Vegas. Claiming.
All right, so let me explain this charity. I know who this charity is, okay? This is a charity in Vegas called Holy Smokes. And they work with homeless people, anybody that needs help, but a lot of homeless people work. Now, they call themselves marijuana friendly. So a lot of charities, especially church-based charities, if they think that you're using any drugs, including weed, they won't help you out. Okay? They just call you a drug addict and a fucking junkie or whatever. They won't help you out, right? They have strict stipulations. This charity has said we're okay if you use weed, and it's some of their some of the people that work for the charity, they carry like it's legal there anyways. First of all, second of all, they carry vape pens and shit, right? And they'll let the guys hit them, right? As long as they don't have like a drug problem or some shit like that, they'll let you hit it. Like they don't care about weed. The same way you might take somebody down on their luck out for a beer, but you wouldn't take like a recovering alcoholic out for a beer. I have no problem whatsoever with this charity. The fact that they're weed friendly, who gives a fuck?
When they hand out weed they buy from inside the tunnels.
When we met up with them, they told me they hand out blunts that they buy from their plug in the tunnels.
But the conversation he shows isn't really about any of that. It's all about how they don't like his friend Kevin.
They said that my friend...
By the way, they call this guy an asshole. He is a asshole, 100%.
Kevin, a leading expert in homelessness and drug addiction, who showed me Portland, Oregon's
Send holy smokes to Bert. That'd be an idea.
Drug epidemic, was an asshole for handing out $5 bills to the homeless.
I think I'm just going to let you guys take all this stuff, keep the money, but we don't want to step on any toes here.
Oh, you went too hard on it.
The reason that guy's an asshole is he's another one of these that says like helping the homeless, even though every study shows this differently, helping the homeless like enables them and they'll never become not homeless. Like we should let them fucking starve and freeze to death and shit, and that'll teach them to get a job. Get the fuck out of there.
I think he's a good guy, and I think it's bullshit to call him an asshole for no reason.
You apologize for calling a colleague of yours an asshole?
He also goes around and hands people $5 bills and acts like he's fucking doing something, $5 bills, and videotapes them.
He's a good guy,
And there is this higher mission, like you say?
Yep.
You know, to highlight this thing? We could put aside my antisocial faux pas right there.
No, I get it. It's a difference in philosophy, but maybe it's a difference in our philosophy, too. And you guys do your thing and hand out the blunts,
No, it's like, it's not about the weed.
She says it's not about the weed. He keeps wanting to say that they're a charity that hand out weed. That's not it. They're a weed-friendly charity. They don't care if you do weed, and if they're smoking a vape and a homeless person says, "Can I have a hit?" They're not opposed to like being like, "Yeah, here, hit the vape."
Yeah, but we front load the conversation with calling the one guy who we've done a video with an asshole and a piece of shit. I wish you guys the best of luck. Please accept the donation kindly. If our goal is to highlight the issue as it is, then maybe we bring out our friend Kevin.
Kevin, this homeless expert.
So maybe we bring out our friend Kevin.
In Portland, currently has 19 felony charges against him relating to stealing from nonprofit.
What? A homelessness consultant who has had several positions with nonprofits and government agencies was indicted on theft, identity theft, and official misconduct charges. So it seems like he's being charged. He's got 19 charges. And I think, I'm not positive, I think he was actually getting homeless people's information and using those for identity theft. But whatever. You know, he's probably not an asshole.
Profits and government agencies. Kevin's whole stance is that we need to help the homeless less because it enables their lifestyle. Meanwhile, nearly every...
We need to help them less because you're an enabler. If you help them, you're enabling them.
Peer-reviewed study says the opposite. This guy is an asshole. Tyler...
So, I don't know if you saw some of those studies, but like the one named Housing First rapidly ends homelessness, right? Getting somebody in a house, it's not like they're just going to be back on the street. That's a big thing, right? Getting somebody where they're not going to die, first of all, and then helping them get identification if they don't have it, like driver's license, birth certificate, shit that they need to get a job, right? A phone line that they can use, whether they have to go somewhere or a house, that an answering service, a mailbox, and getting them in contact with family members. Usually the best thing that you can do for homeless people, right? Don't die. Get in contact with any existing family members, even if you have to help them look them up. And getting them identification and a way to communicate, phone and mail.
Tyler then makes up that he had to run for his life because the charity put out a hit on him.
That's me running for...
So he goes from, he doesn't like that they called Kevin an asshole, Kevin is an asshole, to the charity put out a hit on him. A charity put out a hit on him.
For my life after learning a charity has ordered them to attack me on site.
The charity did not put out a hit on him. They're just saying it's dangerous if you don't.
All right, I'll read it to you. So this was after they split, right? Because they called his friend an asshole, which I think the guy is an asshole. But here's what we got. It says, I want to warn you that we had 2 encampments that expected you guys. And when you weren't with us, and we said why, they said, so if they show up, would you get in trouble if we fuck them up? Sounds like something a crazy homeless person would say. Especially like he's going down to these tunnels, which are like these close-knit communities of people. And they probably don't want somebody down there that they believe is going to exploit them, like Tyler does in all his videos. If they're not with you, they're not welcome. That's what the homeless person said to the charity. If they're not with you, they're not welcome. So the charity says to him, if you want another go at the tunnels, you need to come with us without a camera first and follow our lead and get to know the people. Otherwise, you won't get the truth. He says, so we donate $1,000 to your charity, bring you water, and you threaten our lives by putting a hit against us? They respond, I'm just saying that the folks we work with don't want anyone going to the tunnels and publishing anything without getting to know them first. They've had too many people go down and try to get a story, and they're tired of it. So you put a hit on us?
Go with an organization. And this really sums up Tyler's video format. He records stuff that really isn't all that interesting and then adds a voiceover to create a narrative that doesn't exist. Fast forward through his video and he's never threatened by anyone. He never runs from anyone. The actual footage is him running from a flood that doesn't exist.
And that this tunnel is about to flood with water and kill all of us.
This grows into Fox News watching his video and interviewing Kevin, who outright slanders the charity.
So-called charities are actually buying cannabis from the mole people and then selling it back to the mole people.
How disgusting calling them mole people. By the way, it's now disgusting, anti-man, estrogen-filled to go grocery shopping. Men can't go grocery shopping anymore. Fox News, latest.
People at a profit. Subhuman conditions. Do you feel like these so-called
That's his friend Kevin there.
non-profits see homelessness as just a business opportunity?
You know, I do.
You mean the one guy with 19 felonies from stealing from charities and identity theft thinks that other charities are using homeless people as a business opportunity?
Jesse, and what once was a cause has become this multi-billion-dollar industry. And what we have done is that we keep the homeless comfortable on the streets. You know, we bring them marijuana, we bring them tarps and tents and food.
You could really only do this if nobody loves you. That's why I want you to call your mom, your dad, your significant other, and show them that you appreciate them this Valentine's.
Oh, I think it's the ad rate.
If you want to give them a gift, why not check out Holskern? Holskern makes specialized watches and jewelry for men and women made from natural materials. And the result is them having some of the most cool and unique designs
Holskern.com/Willie Mac Show
out there. We'll watch. Okay, maybe not the best example. So if you're still looking for a gift for that special someone this Valentine's Day, Holskern is the perfect.
Yeah, I remember
so go to
Bumpots
Holskern.com
back in the day.
Willie Mac Show and use code Willie Mac to get 15% off until February 16th. With every purchase coming with a red gift bag to make it that much more convenient. Thank you, Holskern, for sponsoring this video. Okay, back to Tyler's incredible journalism.
Back to my hotel and got these texts from Holy Smoke.
I wanted to warn you that we had 2 encampments that expected you guys. And when you weren't with us and we said why, I wonder what you said. And they said, so if they show up, would you get in trouble if we fuck them up? If they're not with you, they're not welcome. I'm advising you to not go into the tunnels. They will not welcome you or anyone else not associated with the charities they trust.
They will not welcome you or anybody else not associated with the charities they trust. That seems completely logical. Dude, if I was homeless, the last thing I would want is someone blasting it all up. You know what I mean? Like the shame with it.
$900 donation to Paisley and her organization, and they put a hit on us because I don't want to film with them?
How is that a hit? They asked why Tyler wasn't there, and they told him. She's just saying it's safest to go with the charity. Tyler goes into the tunnels and finds out how dangerous it is when it floods. He frames this random homeless guy they meet as some ancient elder of the tunnels.
Bro, we're good to come in?
Orange. With a bounty on our head and signs of Holy Smoke visiting here yesterday, I cautiously entered the tunnel and met one of their elders.
With a bounty on our head.
Orange.
How often does it flood down here? What happens when it floods? Do you just have to get as many? You die?
Sometimes they just open the floodgates.
Just randomly?
They can open to 101% and flood everything. A lot of people have died.
Yeah.
I mean, instantly. Right now, it could open up right now. We'll all be dead.
Actually?
Yeah, really.
I don't mean.
So this isn't true, and clearly that guy's probably not going to be an expert on it, but it's only when they have like torrential rains.
to disrespect this guy's credentials, but doesn't it need to rain for the tunnels to flood? That's the only time people drown, is when there's a storm. But Tyler just pushes forward that everyone's on the verge of death.
After learning that the floodgates could open at any moment, flooding these tunnels and killing everyone.
This is insane.
Now watch how fake this next part is. After learning that the floodgates could open at any moment, killing everyone inside.
All of these
Look at all these groups that go down there. All these groups just go down there all the time. When do they go? When they're not expecting a shit ton of rain that would flood the tunnels.
But according to Tyler, they're putting all of their volunteers' lives at risk because these floodgates could open at any moment, killing everybody in the middle of summer. Tyler then makes up that homeless people living in these tunnels just pop out of the ground through these secret entrances. He just makes up a whole story about some random woman he sees.
That woman just came out, just popped out of the tunnel. I'm genuinely curious.
They just see a woman, assume she's homeless, and say she popped out of a tunnel, then go looking for a tunnel.
If we can find an entry point, because that woman popped out of thin air.
It basically happened to me. Like, it basically happened to us twice, actually.
Right there.
Yeah.
Look at that. That might be it.
What? Oh my God. Is that actually
I think it's it. Do you think she was in here? That would literally boil her alive.
That would literally boil her alive. Do you think she was in there? Do you think that's how she gets in and out of the tunnels? I can see the bottom of it, Tyler. It doesn't go anywhere. It's literally full of dirt and trash. How did she come from there, Tyler?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. This is crazy. So this woman just popped straight out of this. It's got to be hot as hell.
Bro, that's like 2 feet deep. You think she was curled up in a ball in there? I want to remind everybody that Tyler told the charity that he couldn't provide them the angle for his video because that would be scripting.
I'm just telling you the reality that our folks don't want to be documented and without prior consent and knowing exactly how they're going to be portrayed. It's called scripting, something we don't do.
Thank you for the resubscription. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Saying that they don't want to be videoed without knowing how you're going to present the information is, I would want that.
Meanwhile, he just made up an entire story about a woman he saw. You're proving that the charity was right to ask you that. Tyler continues to script drama for his video by walking into a tunnel and running from a fake flood.
So this is wild here. So he opens with that video of, this is the opening to his YouTube video. This is me running through a tunnel, about to drown to death after a charity put a hit on me. And he opens with this running sequence. Why is he running? To videotape it.
The gate had recently opened in this area, and it could open again at any point.
According to Holy Smoke, when Tyler was down there recording, it had been weeks since it rained.
After we met him, he came back the next day. Remember how dry it was, right? There had been no rains. He went down into the tunnels, and he's got footage of himself running from a flood. He's running from a non-existent flood when there hadn't been any rain in weeks.
Make it quick, let's be honest.
What?
We are foot deep in water.
A foot deep in water?
Is that a foot deep in water? Or is he saying, my foot is in water? Look, you can see his whole fucking shoe. We are a foot deep in water. Dude just lies about everything. Just over-exaggerates and lies about everything.
Foot deep in water.
A foot deep in water? That's like 1 centimeter at most, not even an inch.
About a fifth of a mile in, how deep did these tunnels actually go?
Anybody home?
In what world is that a fifth of a mile? They're like
You're like 30 feet in.
20 meters into this tunnel. But it's cool, just some Tyler Oliveira journalism. Just put on some scary music and act like your life's in danger.
I'm so fucking scared. This thing floods were dead, by the way.
Yeah.
They go in a different tunnel and fake hearing the floodgates open.
So watch this guy that he's with, the Kevin guy. It's almost like they knew this was a setup. So here's what happens. Tyler goes, did you hear that? And the guy's like, no, what? He's like, does that sound like a floodgates? Because they've heard the floodgates open and kill everybody. Does that sound like a floodgate? And the guy's like, yeah, that did kind of sound like a floodgate. And they just fucking haul ass, dude. They just run it. Just watch.
Just put on some scary music and act like your life's in danger.
I'm so fucking scared. This thing floods were dead, by the way.
Yeah.
They go in a different tunnel and fake hearing the floodgates open.
We're quite deep in. I can rest assured that if we have to run, it is hella slippery and everyone's falling down.
Kevin, you know what that sounded like? It sounded like a floodgate.
That does sound like a floodgate.
Is that a floodgate? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Jesus Christ.
We're going to fucking die. Running with his camera.
Oh, I thought we were gonna die.
Was that a floodgate? Homeless person? No. Oh, I thought we were about to die. That's what I thought was happening. I thought we were about to die.
Oh, was that a floodgate? No, it hasn't rained. There's been former homeless people to go on the news and explain how it works.
We asked him what he would tell decision makers about what would save lives when it comes to flash.
It literally says protecting the homeless from monsoon rain. Monsoon rain. This isn't like we have the steam plant is an area a little ways from my house where you can go fish, and every so often they have to open the gates, right? And they sound a siren and all this shit because you could be down there like fishing in this place called the Bowl. That place fills up pretty quick. Within 10, 15 minutes, it fills up where you were just sitting fishing for shovel bill. It isn't like that. It's only when they have torrential amounts of rain that they have to release some of it.
Flooding and the homeless.
I would tell them, post signs is not enough. There still should be someone comes past and let everybody know, hey, we're really expecting this amount of rain, and it would be wise for you guys to get out. Anybody, one person is enough to save everybody down their life. A better warning system for them, and not everybody have phones. Not everybody know it's raining. When they're in the tunnels, they could be asleep and not even know it's raining, and wake up to water to their waist.
Called scripting, something we don't do.
Who is he kidding? Oh. This entire video is scripted.
We're gonna fucking die.
This woman just popped straight out of this.
Also, at the beginning of the video, he said this clip was from the charity putting out a hit on him.
That's me running for my life after learning a charity has ordered them to attack me on sight, and that this tunnel is about to flood with water and kill all of us.
Imagine that's your intro. That's me running for my life after learning a charity put a hit on me to attack me on sight. And we're all about to drown and die. Are you kidding? What a fucking piece of shit, dude.
Slide, it has nothing to do with that. This video ends with Tyler expanding on allegations made towards the charity, saying that they're buying weed from inside the tunnels.
Final fact you'll love is that this nonprofit buys the weed they hand out. They claim to have a plug in the tunnels.
We have the...
Now, this is all just made up. Weed is legal and cheap there. Why the fuck would they buy weed from the tunnel people? The homeless tunnel people, to give it back to them?
Most overdoses and deaths in history due to fentanyl, and so you are buying marijuana off the streets. I hope to God that's not true. And if that is happening, buying drugs off the street and redistributing it, and you are a non-profit 501(c)(3), what is wrong with you? Marijuana is almost always laced with fentanyl. That is completely...
If something don't happen soon, Beer Man's going to be back out on the fucking road working.
Unethical.
There won't be no videos.
Where this claim originates, not once on camera does Tyler confront Holy Smoke about it, despite him recording their entire argument. He just has this claim as an investigative journalist. Seems suspicious.
It's just a claim from this Kevin guy. Obviously, the Kevin guy and this charity don't get along well because he's got all these fucking felonies, stolen IDs and shit like that, right? Stealing from charities. Then he comes up with this claim that they're buying weed and murdering people because the weed is laced with fentanyl now.
Continues to hammer this charity, repeating that they're redistributing weed inside the tunnels.
My question to you is, how many people have overdosed and died because of this? If you're doing this, you got blood in your hands, brother.
So Holy Smoke now puts out hits on people and murders people with fentanyl-laced weed. Tyler's video would go viral, being picked up by Fox News, and his tall tale would grow.
Of course it was. I'm telling you, they are primed for these crazy stories. Remember that Tucker Carlson clip we watched where they put in an after-school program that was explicitly, basically just a church, right? This after-school program that was supposed to be helping students with their homework was basically just indoctrinating them. So the Church of Satan put in one that actually had, good tutors, actually taught STEM classes and shit like that, and then Tucker Carlson is just like, so what are you going to do after snack time human sacrifices? They're pre-programmed to accept this. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear these fucking crazy, scandalous fucking stories.
Even more.
But overdoses, homicides, and disease aren't the biggest threat. A flood could wipe out 2,000.
And I'm over here like a fucking retard. Like, well, maybe people want the actual truth. Like, research it, find out the actual information, and share the truth, which is most of the time not that fucking crazy, salacious, fucking devastating news. No, they don't. They want this.
Souls in an instant and make Katrina look like child's play.
This is off topic, but where's this guy getting that 2,000 people would die in an instant? That would be every single person in the tunnels and then some. These tunnels get used every time it rains. It doesn't need to be exaggerated to mass casualties, Hurricane Katrina levels of casualties to be an interesting story. This anchor then accuses Holy Smoke of making money by selling weed, a brand new allegation.
So-called charities are actually buying cannabis from the mole people and then selling it back.
Dude, that's so disgusting to call them the fucking mole people.
The mole people at a profit.
That's horrible.
Homeless drug addicts are now just a means by which nonprofits make a profit.
Jesse Waters is also the one that said you can't go. There was a picture of Kamala and her husband grocery shopping. He's like, what kind of man, real man, goes grocery shopping with his wife? All of us? Tell me you're out of touch with normal fucking people if you've never been grocery shopping. I mean, I don't go every fucking time, but I've definitely been. What the fuck?
Profit, and by which big government gets even bigger. And they're getting better at hiding the money because now it's going underground.
There's not one receipt, no new information has been put out. How many new lies do we get to make up before this becomes slander? Fox then brings on Kevin Dahlgren, who certifies all this information.
Homeless drug addicts are now just a means by which
Again, they bring on the guy that's stealing from charities, 19 felony counts, stealing from charities, identity theft, money laundering, everything. Right?
Resubscribed for 19 months.
Thank you for the resubscription.
Profits make a profit, and by which big government gets even bigger. And they're getting better at hiding the money because now it's going underground. Like Kevin Dahlgren, a homeless outreach volunteer who interviewed some of these mole people.
Now, of course, you had mentioned this nonprofit where you would hope that people are down there helping them, but their main purpose is to supply them with weed.
Again, that is not even in their mission statement. That's not what they do. If you ask them, they'll tell you this. They're just weed friendly.
That's what they do. We couldn't even believe it.
Ignore that Tyler opens his video packing over 100 meals with Holy Smokes. It's become a story where
packing 100 meals that they delivered. Not that they're going down there to give them weed. They delivered 100 meals that day.
Every time they tell it gets a new fabricated detail. Now they talk about how they met homeless people who have gone blind from living in the tunnel.
When we get to the end of this, when we get to this video, we're going to talk about the hit that's been put on my little small town by Steve Bannon and some issues around that. Hey, Nick, you know the guy that was giving away the Ferrari and for T-shirts or whatever in the old Ford place? You see where he got arrested? That's what we're going to talk about after this video.
So long, actual mole people.
The deeper we go down there, the more we found legitimate mole people that just live in pitch darkness that are completely blind. I mean, it was crazy down there.
Crazy how that just didn't make Tyler's video. It would have been good content. It's because it's completely made up. So what is the truth behind Holy Smoke? I took the time to email Holy Smoke to hear about what they did and their side of the story. Holy Smoke's mission.
Oh my God, you mean you actually reached out to someone and asked them what their side of the story was?
Relief to the homeless. In 2023, they claimed to have provided over 5,200 meals, 2,600 socks, 200 cases of water.
Hey, if they had talked to Bert, they could have provided 2,601 sock.
On permanent housing for 8 people and created a mailbox to help get people their IDs and reconnect to their families. All things Kevin says the charity doesn't do, even though Tyler participated in some of it.
It's subhuman conditions. Do you feel like these so-called nonprofits see homelessness as just a business opportunity?
You know, I do, Jesse. And what once was a cause has become this multi-billion-dollar industry. And what we have done is that we keep the homeless comfortable on the streets. Where's the real help? Where's the help recovering and helping you with your mental health issues, or getting them IDs, or communication with their family? All the important stuff that actually breaks the cycle of homelessness. That really isn't a big part of this industry. The industry needs these people to stay on the streets.
But what about the handing out cannabis allegations? In an email I received back from Holy Smoke, they said, "We never bought weed from homeless people. Weed is legal and cheap in Las Vegas. The entire assertion is absurd. We don't..."
It's legal and cheap in Vegas. Why would they buy weed? First of all, how would these people grow weed? They're homeless and they live in tunnels.
Hand out weed to anyone. Holy Smoke is not a harm reduction charity. We are simply weed friendly, which does distinguish us from puritanical organizations. In Las Vegas, it is extremely normal for someone in a group to have a vape pen. They are welcome to hit it. Is Tyler blatantly lying? Yes. We have no idea where this fiction comes from. He and his colleague Delgren seem to just make stuff up. The claim that people living in the tunnels have gone blind shows the bizarre levels of fantasy.
They tried to claim, so you know that animals that live in, like, we have caves here, right? Cave systems you can go view and walk through, and I'm sure you probably have them where you live. Animals that live in caves in complete darkness for generations, through evolution, eventually go blind, right? These people went on Fox News and claimed that people have lived down there so long they've all went blind. That's why Jesse Waters is calling them mole people.
They indulge in. It seems they just make up hoaxes. Holy Smoke then claims they received death threats from Tyler's video. A lot of charity organizations will deny people resources if they're under the influence. Holy Smoke doesn't. People, including volunteers, bring marijuana, share it, and smoke it. They don't care. You see me having a drink with my friend Larry.
You can bring marijuana, share it, smoke it. We don't care. That's the only difference between them and like a church-run charity.
Same thing. There's no sense of us distributing alcohol to homeless people. I know Larry. I know he isn't an alcoholic. During the time he was homeless, we'd have a drink here and there, keep his spirits up, and remind him of his life before. Through much persistence, we got Larry back inside. So whether you agree with their methods or not, they do have some success stories. Holy Smoke adamantly claims that they don't distribute or hand out cannabis, but they do bring it and share it. Now, I don't know if they make this distinction for legal...
Bird is built like a ferret in a wool sock. Just fucking bulging in places and shit.
Purposes or not, but they firmly stand by those definitions. Tyler thinking it's not ethical for them to do this is fine, but what's crazy is how much he villainizes them for it without ever asking a single question on camera. He never confirms anything in his video. It's funny because...
It seems like when he was dressing them down saying, well, if we want the real story, I guess we'll just have to get Kevin out here. He would have been like, so you guys buy this weed underneath there, it's laced with fentanyl, you're killing the blind mole people that live under the tunnels? No, he didn't bring that up. Weird.
Watch Tyler's video, you could see this weed narrative grow more and more elaborate. First it was them handing out weed to homeless people, then it was they're buying lace weed from in the tunnels and redistributing it, killing people.
My question to you is how many people overdosed and died because of this? If you're doing this, you got blood in your hands, brother.
And then finally it becomes they're buying laced weed from in the tunnels and then selling it back for profit. They're part of the homeless outreach billion-dollar industry.
So-called charities are actually buying cannabis from the mole people and then selling it back to the mole people at a profit. Homeless drug addicts.
How? First of all, there's no such thing as fucking people addicted to weed. Second of all, so they're paying them for their weed, buying it from them, and then selling it back to them at a profit, but they're homeless in a tunnel. And that's their big money-making scheme as their nonprofit. Look at the fucking banner. Nonprofit in quotes. Nonprofit gives drugs to mole people. Dude, if we're not living in idiocracy, I don't know how much closer we can get before someone yells, cut. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. Look at the lower thirds. Nonprofit gives drugs to mole people. Tell me at some point in your life, post high school, and at least 10 years ago, pre-Trump era, that you thought one day, I bet you I open the news and it's going to say, nonprofit gives drugs to mole people, blind mole people.
Are now just a means by which nonprofits make a profit and by which big government gets even bigger.
Holy Smoke is a very small team, I believe.
Big government? What? What's this have to do with big government? You're claiming a nonprofit that has nothing to do with the government has some type of fucking weed carousel with mole people. Big government gets bigger.
Everybody on it works separate jobs. This is primarily volunteer work. So Kevin coming up with this narrative is slander.
It's subhuman conditions. Do you feel like these so-called nonprofits see homelessness as just a business opportunity?
You know, I do, Jesse. And what once was a cause has become this multi-billion-dollar industry. And what we have done
sounds like a fever dream. Like you fucking went to bed with the highest fever you ever had in your life, and you're selling weed to mole people.
Is that we keep the homeless comfortable on the streets.
It's crazy because Kevin is the one with 25 charges against him, some of which are stealing from nonprofits. The only person who is a corrupt thief is Kevin. When Kevin's indictment was made public, Tyler would defend him, saying, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? Well, Tyler must have...
All right, so let's go back to this. So his indictment finally was made public, and then Tyler says, how stupid can you be? As someone who produces documentary work, you think we filmed those videos the exact day they came out? Obviously not. I worked with Kevin before any of the allegations or arrests occurred. Just while he was doing it all, right? And more importantly, what happened until innocent until proven guilty? Bro, you just claimed that a nonprofit was killing people with laced weed they bought from those same people and all the people. What do you mean innocent until proven guilty? Let the legal process play out. You're so quick to silence someone because they disagree with your methods that you're failing to see the bigger picture here.
Guilty. Well, Tyler must have some hard evidence to accuse Holy Smoke of charity fraud and illegally distributing drugs, so I reached out to Tyler and he wrote up an entire document for me. He says he had...
What do you think? Do you think Tyler has the evidence of them illegally distributing drugs to mole people, or no? You think he's got any evidence?
Until proven guilty. Well, Tyler must have some hard evidence to accuse Holy Smoke of charity fraud and illegally distributing drugs, so I reached out to Tyler and he wrote up an entire document for me. He says he had an off-the-record conversation with Holy Smoke prior to filming the video. It required him to donate $900 before meeting.
All right, let's read all this. First off, I want to set the stage with an off-record conversation myself, my cameraman, and the Holy Smokes team had prior to filming the video. I must emphasize this was off-the-record conversation. There's no video recording of this. Of course there isn't. Before I met with Holy Smokes, they required that I send them a $900 donation to meet with them and for them to guide us in the tunnels and introduce us to homeless folks living in the tunnels. After sending them a $900 donation, they wanted to meet off-camera and basically fill us out, talk about the work they do, how they do it, and what our expectations were. We met at some speakeasy-esque bar with some of their team, as well as my cameraman and I. The conversation consisted, first of all, I do not believe for a moment that Tyler is not the type of person that would have been videotaping and recording this. The conversation consisted of them sort of setting the stage for what we could and could not say as it related to homeless people that live in Las Vegas tunnels. I perceived it as an attempt on their end to control the integrity of our coverage and how we communicated what we found in our video. You claimed that there are people going blind from living in the tunnels. Holy Smokes then proudly told us they handed out weed to the homeless people and smoked with them in the tunnels. If this seems unbelievable, I will provide several other documented sources to corroborate this shortly. I don't care if they smoke with people in the tunnels. They even went on to say that they supported a local plug who lived in the tunnels himself, whom they bought the weed from and handed it out to other homeless people in the tunnels. They framed it as they were financially supporting a local drug dealer who was homeless himself and then using that weed to hand out to other homeless folks in the tunnels.
Meeting with them, and they would guide them through the tunnels. Holy Smoke proudly told us that they hand out weed to homeless people. Holy Smoke even went on to say that they supported a local plug who lived in the tunnels himself, whom they bought the weed from and handed out to other homeless folks in the tunnels. So it's a he said, she said situation. However, Tyler's falling out with Holy Smoke happened on camera that same day. But their argument doesn't seem to be about this plug in the tunnels. In fact, it doesn't come up once. It's entirely about how they don't like Kevin Dahlgren.
I think I'm just gonna let you guys take all this stuff, keep the money, but we don't want to step on any toes here.
Oh, you went too hard on him.
I think he's a good guy, and I think it's bullshit to call him an asshole for no reason.
You apologize for calling a colleague of yours.
It's all about calling that other guy out.
He's a good guy.
And there is this higher mission, like you say.
Yep.
You know, to highlight this thing. We could put aside my antisocial faux pas right there.
No, I get it. It's a difference in philosophy, but maybe it's a difference in our philosophy too. And you guys do your thing and hand out the blunts,
No,
but
it's like,
yeah,
it's not about the weed.
yeah, but
oh, it's not about the weed.
We front load the conversation with calling the one guy who we've done a video with an asshole and a piece of shit. I wish you guys the best of luck. Please accept the donation kindly. If our goal is to highlight the issue as it is, then maybe we bring out our friend Kevin.
If you think what they're doing is immoral, then why would you let them keep the money? How is this the extent of the conversation?
It's almost like he set it up to be a hit job there from the start. He didn't like that they told that they don't like Kevin, his guy, or whatever.
As you can tell, this conversation is extremely cut up, and I don't believe for a second that Tyler would be arguing with his charity about their methods and not bring up all the illegal activity that they're doing. So I asked him for the raw footage of this exact conversation. He sent me the document I showed you earlier, but no footage. I asked for it again, and he didn't provide it. So I asked him a third time, and he said he would, but never did. So I asked a fourth time. This has been going on for 5 days now. I reiterated why it was important for me to see. He directly responds to me saying, the idea that you don't bring up a single time that they're buying weed from in the tunnels and redistributing it as you were beefing with them would be shocking. And Tyler replies, same day, but yes. It's almost 2 years old. Going through
looking for the footage, almost 2 years old. Going through the stacks of hard drives. We'll see if I can find it.
Stacks of hard drives. We'll see if I can find it. How do you organize your videos? You responded to Vince with the raw footage right away. He never got back to me. So I asked a fifth time. No response. What a big story, Tyler.
5 times. Can I just have this raw footage then? Because surely you would have brought up, instead of just bringing up, they called your friend an asshole and you guys have blunts. You think you would have brought up all the illegal shit they're doing while you're dressing them down there in this No, you didn't? You don't have footage of it? Damn.
Are covering about this charity, and he never even attempts to ask them on camera. I just don't believe it. It doesn't make any sense. Fox News would take their segment off their website, probably because it's not based on any factuality. I want to point out,
this is one of his older videos, by the way, and Fox News finally took it down.
In Tyler's document, he writes, given that our video's subject matter revolves heavily around addiction and mental health. In reality, it wasn't. It's mostly him just pogging out in the tunnels, but whatever. It felt extremely counterintuitive and unprofessional to hand out weed to people suffering from a mental crisis and pre-existing drug addictions that could potentially be exaggerated. If Tyler feels that way, that's totally fair.
That's an opinion to have, but there's a whole other group of people that will probably say, yeah, a little bit of weed probably fucking make them chill as hell. At least they can have that little piece of enjoyment in their life if they enjoy smoking weed.
They know what they're doing is unorthodox, but Tyler, I gotta ask, how are you surprised? The founders are all potheads. It's called Holy Smoke. Their method is to provide people with a good time and community in hopes that they ask for help. And they've had some positive results. In your tweet defending Kevin, who stole from government and nonprofit funds, you wrote, you were so quick to silence someone because they disagree with your methods and you're failing to see the bigger picture. How does that apply to Kevin of all people and not Holy Smoke? Oh yeah, you know what, Tyler? I do disagree with Kevin's methods. Stealing money from charity is wrong. So in a single video, Tyler makes up that a charity put a hit on him, that the charity is mass distributing illegal marijuana. On Fox News, it became part of a for-profit billion-dollar industry. He makes up a homeless lady popped out of a 1-foot hole, faked running for his life, and platformed an expert that was already famous for making unsubstantiated claims about homelessness. He made up that the tunnels were making people blind, and then was charged with the same corruption he accused the charity of. Well, what if I told you that this wasn't the first time Tyler has done this?
What? Man, I thought he was just out there getting both sides of the story equally and unbiased.
Kiss my ass, kiss my ass.
Tyler brings in experts in his videos to provide extra clarity all the
Willie Mack does a lot of research and shit. You should at least go subscribe to his channel.
time, but he never tells the audience how controversial these people really are. You have Sheriff Carmine Marcino, who works in Lee County, Florida.
Wait, is this account not subscribed? I'm sitting here talking shit, and this account isn't subscribed to Willie Mack.
Carmine was attracting a lot of bad press because the county police budget was ballooning, going from $196 million in 2020 to $315 million in 2024. They got robo-dogs, an Avengers-esque monitor setup, little cutting-edge baby drone.
This is our Black Hornet.
So this is a county in Florida that their budget over doubled, and they bought all this crazy fucking drones and robot dogs and shit.
Stealth drone.
What?
It's a little helicopter and it fits in the palm of your hand. We are the first law enforcement agency to purchase this in the country. This is typically for military purposes, but now they opened up to law enforcement.
But apparently it's been worth it because Tyler claims that they've gone from the 6th most dangerous county in the country to the 3rd safest.
Plus utilizing our general...
Usually nonprofits run on like a shoestring budget. Most of the people that work there are volunteers. I don't know if they have any paid staff, maybe, but it's not going to be many. I don't think they could afford to sue him.
Fund in our budget. When you take drugs and guns off the streets, the crime rate goes down and the quality of life goes up. And Lee County is really, leading the way.
In fact, Sheriff Marcino claims that in 2020, when he was elected sheriff, he took Lee County from the 6th most unsafe city in America to the 3rd safest county in the nation when it comes to violent crime.
6th most dangerous to the 3rd safest while he was elected is what the sheriff claims. By the way, this is one of those theatrical sheriffs from Florida where they're all over the news, this drug house closed, press conferences, saying wild shit. Like he claims, since he's been sheriff, he went from like the 6th most dangerous city in the world or in the U.S. to the 3rd safest. That's it. That's the sheriff's claim.
crime. While I can neither confirm nor deny that statistic, here's a graph of the violent crime in Lee County since 20.
First of all, this isn't the violent crime in Lee County. This is homicide rates. And yeah, it's going down. But did you tell anybody that this was done in April of 2024? Or did you show how the statistics were going down nationwide? How can you have 2024 numbers up when it's April of 2024?
2020.
That's not a graph of the violent crime rate. That's the total amount of homicides by year. And at this point, it was only April of 2024. He's literally showing an out of context graph. What do you mean you can't confirm or deny this? Have you tried Google? If you look up violent crime rates in Florida by year, you can see that since Sheriff Carmine's taken over, things have made pretty much the same in Lee County, being its safest in 2019. It was nowhere near the 6th most dangerous.
It's just stayed the same. It's not the 6th most dangerous
county in the nation, let alone Florida. It was actually the 11th safest. And in 2023, was Lee County the 3rd safest county in the nation when it comes to violent crime? No, it wasn't even 3rd in Florida. It was 10. Its crime rate actually went up a little bit.
Its crime rate actually went up a little bit, even though it was the 10th safe. It went up a city rank from 11th in Florida to 10th in Florida. But its crime rate actually went up a little bit.
Investigative journalist, by the way. On top of that...
By the way, this sheriff, I know this personally, even without watching this video. This sheriff is now under investigation for embezzlement and how he spent his funds and shit.
Sheriff Carmine is now being investigated by the FBI for money laundering and misappropriating funds. He was...
Apparently, I researched this story, but I didn't have a whole lot to make a video on. But apparently, like, he had, like, friends and family he was keeping on payroll for, like, thousands of dollars for not doing shit. Like, he had one guy, he was paying like $5,500 a month or some shit, I don't remember the numbers. He was paying $1,000 a month and having him come in like 1 or 2 hours a week, sign some papers, be seen at the office, then leave. And it was like his fucking cousin's brother-in-law or some shit.
Was issued a federal subpoena this last November.
The investigation began after former deputy Mike Hollow, who ran against Marcino in November and lost, said that he met with the FBI after Marcino's longtime friend, Ken Romano, claimed that he was being paid $5,700 a month for next to no work.
Uh-oh. If I went in 5 times in 6 months I worked there, that was a lot. Once a month, come in. Get paid $5,000, $6,000 a month.
Romano said every month he would take $1,700 and funnel it to Marcino's father so he could pay for a Mercedes.
Every month I would just give his father the money and take cash, and every month put it in on top of the medicine cabinet, and he pretended to take it like a secret that, you know, like I didn't really think anything of this. He was paying his dad's Mercedes bill. Payment.
Now, NBC2 obtained 14 similar consultant agreements.
Bro, this guy...
this is the guy Tyler interviewed for taking crime down and making a safe city with robot dogs in Florida.
14 other agreements like this. Tyler
doesn't research anything. He just lets people lie, and it seems like he always has a narrative he goes in, and they're definitely lying one way. He'll show the other people that are like arguing. He'll be like, I don't know. Like show 2 or 3 people on the other side that then get the most aggressive, biggest lies from the fucking retards that support his narrative.
2 experts signed, and both of them are credibly accused of stealing money from taxpayers. Another time, Tyler goes to Seattle and meets up with Jonathan Cho, a homeless expert and journalist. What makes this guy a homeless expert? Well, he just films homeless people. He's the guy that walked around with Tyler saying they were being followed, but when the camera pans and shows no one there.
Began to enter homeless camps right next to the highway and realized we were being followed. They're obviously,
we're being followed. Look at him. He sees somebody. We're being followed.
They're following us, bro. So
okay.
Gotta move. Tyler,
okay, all right, we gotta go.
They're following us, bro. We gotta move. The same guy. It's like anytime you're going into a homeless park, you got to know all the exits.
All right, this is for real. We got to go. Keep in mind, they may be right behind us. There's a guy.
They may be right behind us. Let's see. There's a guy coming. Where are they, bro? Where are they?
There's another guy. Just be aware of our surroundings. Seriously, watch out.
The enemy is closing in on our position from every direction. Look, there's another guy. Like, where could this man been? In the middle of the street? Is he a ghost dodging 80-mile-per-hour cars?
Literally, we are at an overpass right now. This is wild.
What's wild about that? You're on a 2-lane road. Nothing about that is remotely interesting. They walk into an area with a homeless encampment. Every city I've lived in has one of these, and they're like, we need exit strategies.
Going to these camps, you have to have an exit strategy. I know all the entrances and exits. That's one. We know where to go.
He acts like he's in the jungles of Vietnam. I know every path. Brother, you're in a...
Isn't that a Proud Boy guy? I don't think so. I was thinking it sounded like, what's the guy that got milkshaked, right? Got hit in the head or whatever by the Antifa people in Portland or Seattle or wherever, and now he's like a fucking famous journalist. He runs all that shit. He's always on Twitter. Is his name Andy something? He's an Asian guy. That's who I was thinking it was. Andy, no, thank you. I can never remember his name.
Park, just follow the paved sidewalk. They'll ask homeless people if they need anything, and when they say no, Tyler and Show will look at each other and be like, see, they love being homeless.
While drug addiction kept many of these people on the streets, we stumbled upon this giant fortress that led me to wonder if some of these people actually preferred living on these streets.
This is a pretty epic fortress you have here almost. How long did it take to build this?
It's not done yet.
You feel safe out here?
It almost feels like home, I guess.
Hey there. How's it going? Is it too cold for you out here? Okay, fair.
By the way, just because people are like, I don't know, I don't know if I need help, or I don't need anything, that doesn't mean they want to be homeless living on the streets or drug addicts.
You need any help from anyone? And if so, how could someone help you?
Well, I don't need any more help.
Okay.
I got all the things I need.
Notice what he said. He said he's choosing this.
Oh, the lifestyle.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said.
He didn't say that at all. Neither of those guys said that.
The lifestyle. That is the piece that certain homeless advocates don't want out there. And what do you do about these people in society?
I don't know.
These are the people who've given up on society. They're done. They don't want to work anymore. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to pay their
He didn't say that either.
People who want to be homeless, but they're pretty rare. Tyler doesn't run into a single person who says that in this video. They see a dude who owns a generator and they're like, must mean he loves poverty.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you. I mean, these guys are all self-sufficient. Everyone's running a generator here. There's power, there's electricity.
It seemed like some of these homeless people just didn't want to be part of society.
To his viewers, what is your thought process while watching this? Well, he is getting a haircut. Must mean he doesn't want to join society. Did you ask him that? Did he say that? Nope. Okay, just make it up. That's cool. In another video, Tyler would go to Vancouver and imply that all of these convenience stores were only staying open because homeless people smoke fentanyl out of the bongs they buy.
Once again, it is quite easy to get some drug paraphernalia. And of course, you got the food desert items right here. You got 3 cereal boxes for $15. Knives, only $25. All hats, only $25. Spend $50 on a bong and torch. Get free butane. 3 butane for only $10.
What does that have to do with homeless people, dude? It's a store.
He acts like these shops' entire business strategy is around serving the homeless, like they're buying $25 knives and smoking fentanyl out of Pokemon bongs. Now, is it most likely that or people with jobs and money who smoke weed because weed is legal in Canada? I'm gonna go with the latter. He says nonprofits are incentivized to keep people addicted to drugs. To back up this claim, Tyler interviews this guy.
More bongs, more bongs. Bongs, 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 bongs. It's easier to get a bong out here than it is a monster.
And not to mention needles, foil, and anything else you might need to support your crippling drug addiction. It's almost like nonprofits and NGOs are incentivized to help keep these people addicted to drugs rather than guiding them towards rehabilitation.
They've got the drugs either way. Wouldn't you rather have them use a clean needle?
Rehabilitation and sobriety.
And I've been smoking crack all day. It's not
No, I hear you.
it's the drug user.
My question, though, is reduce the harm, keep that person alive. But if there's no emphasis on helping that person detox, get into rehab at some point, if you can get acutely poisoned much faster with something like this, then maybe alcohol is my argument.
Oh, wait. I just found him. Jonathan Chow, the Seattle reporter who was recently fired from ABC affiliate Como after tweeting about a Proud Boys rally, is now telling his side of the story. He posted a promo on Twitter for his story on Medium where he said he is not a neo-Nazi. You were right. Or white supremacy. He did have something to do with the Proud Boys. Chow took criticism for covering the rally, which took place in Olympia, Washington on March 19th, and called the accusations against him comical at best. So you were right. I've been searching because I didn't know what you were talking about, but it seems like he did have some accusations against him. He was covering the rally in Washington State, capital of Olympia, earlier this month. He tweeted a photo montage of the Proud Boys rally, including some controversial music in the clip that drew outrage from Twitter, who allegedly accused him of being a white supremacist. Let me start off by saying I'm not a neo-Nazi, fascist, or white supremacist. Those are just some of the names I have been called over the past few days. In my recent coverage of a protest in Olympia, Washington, it was advertised as a rally for America. Wow. Good call. I know the other thing he covers are people who are who go out in that area and they'll get a lease on a house, then refuse to pay, and it's like it's so hard to get evictions and shit. That's another thing he covers.
Government's not going out handing out vodka shots, right?
They provide drugs and needles to prevent the spread of disease and overdoses. What would handing out vodka do for alcoholics? It makes no sense. But I will give Tyler credit. He at least talks to a homeless expert in Dr. Summers. But like all of Tyler's experts, they're shrouded in controversy. This guy has letters written by his peers saying he cites evidence that doesn't exist. I wish to clarify some strong conclusions Dr. Julian Summers has regarding scattered versus congregate housing. Work we did together in the Vancouver at Home project did not find significant differences in residential stability among participants who were randomly assigned scattered versus congregate housing. I am not aware of the evidence he's referring to. And what does Dr. Summers talk about in Tyler's video? It's about how scattered housing is better.
One of the studies that we did along these lines involved offering people choices of housing. Housing in intact buildings where the social mix was already established. It was people paying rent, going about their lives. We went ahead and did it, and it was successful.
He then tells a story about how the government hated his research he did in 2020, saying safe supply was harmful, and how they're trying to silence him by making him burn all of his data.
What did the government do in response to your research?
So this guy's the biggest liar that exists, right?
Seems like a solution to a lot of these problems.
This research built up over 20 years. Several investigators, a lot of PhD trainees developed their research and adding to this pool of data. And
You want to know what actually happened? They changed servers to a different data provider, right? Storage provider, I should say. They changed servers and asked him to move all of his stuff to the new server and delete it from the old server, so they wouldn't still get charged. They went with a new contract with a new company.
We got to the point of drawing it all together and saying we put together a proposal to begin scaling up effective supports for people in multiple regions of BC and evaluating what we were doing. And we presented that to the government. And what I didn't know when I made this recommendation, this presentation, is that the government had already committed financially to a massive expansion of housing people altogether and providing them with drugs. Because I'm an honest person and I thought I was speaking to people with integrity.
Sure.
I said one of the things we're going to be able to do with this updated information is
because he finds these people already doing that, right? They're already making videos or talking about this. He's like, I want to cover a story on that. So then he goes and gets their side. And it usually fits his narrative, his beliefs, his right-wing ideology.
Evaluate some of the public services that have been operating through the COVID years, during which we had expanded this model of congregating people together. 1 week after I made this presentation to deputy ministers, we received a letter from the government ordering us to immediately destroy all of the data and sanitize hard drives. And
so 20 years of work down the drain.
Massive data holdings covering like about 250,000 people.
That would have effectively helped anyone in this situation.
When I first saw this, I was like, that's crazy. The government's trying to silence and punish a dude who's just trying to help people. So I looked up this letter, and they do tell him to delete and sanitize his data.
Further, all data must be destroyed. All media storage devices of the House Ministry data must be sanitized. This includes all backup copies, uploads, data on mini drives. Once complete, please send a confirmation letter these steps have occurred and the data has been destroyed.
Database called the IMED. But when I read the letter, they act like it's standard practice because they're moving to a new database called the Data Initiative Program, which was started in 2018. That the data is or will be broader in scope.
You don't want the data just floating around. We're going to a new server, and we don't want somebody to hack it or to fall into the wrong hands or somebody to find it or it to exist. We're moving it. You're more than welcome to move it over here.
And that of which is provided by Dr. Summers' database, and says it's because the information sharing agreement is up between the government ministries and the college Summers works for as of March 31st, 2021, and that the ministry's data will be available on the Data Initiative Program. So to me, it really doesn't sound like this conspiracy of the government committing to funding. It sounds like standard practice. So I emailed Dr. Summers for clarification. He says that asking him to move to the new database was absurd because it hadn't been built yet, and it would not be capable of replacing the data they had collected when it was fully built. He claims that the government is just lying. So I asked Dr. Summers if he could provide any evidence that the database was incomplete, because I imagine there would be hundreds of researchers upset by this.
Everybody would be pissed, right? It's not just his research, it's everybody's fucking research. Across all fields, across all disciplines.
He never does, instead repeating that it's inappropriate for the government to act this way. So finally I said screw it and emailed the head of the Canadian Government Ministry of Public Safety, Leah Grainer, who wrote the letter to Dr. Summers. And she claims that Dr. Summers' database was exclusively used by Summers and his students, and that the Data Initiative Program was available to all academic and government researchers. She then says all previous data provided by Summers and his database is on the new Data Initiative Program, as well as a wide array.
Did you hear that? All the data previously provided for the IMED is available on the DIP as a wide array of new data, as is a wide array of new data. His data isn't destroyed. It's on the new system. He's lying.
Of new data from other ministries, so somebody is lying. When I asked about the request to delete his database, Leah Griner clarified that information sharing agreements have always been limited to specific timeframes. Timeframes of sharing agreements with researchers are shared so that expectations around data retention / destruction are clear, and timeframes are agreed upon before data is shared. So she makes it sound like standard practice. They're both accusing each other of lying. She ends with the new data.
We share this personal data for research purposes, but they know they're only going to have it for this long. Then it's going to have to be purged so it doesn't slip into the wrong hands.
Database is available to Dr. Summers to continue his research should he choose. The point of me taking you down this rabbit hole is to say that Tyler should be doing this before bringing Dr. Summers on as the premier expert on homelessness and victim of the government. This guy has a letter written about him signed by 50 of his peers saying that his research is low quality and that he cherry-picks data. He had a study on supply saying it was ineffective, and when it was assessed, it was deemed a critically low quality review. When I asked Dr. Summers about this, he claims that the criticism is bullshit. It's like evaluating for the safety of a motorcycle using a checklist that's designed for cars. And maybe he's right, everybody's wrong but him. But Tyler should be upfront with this information. His experts are always controversial and have these scandals, typically the minority opinion in their field. It doesn't seem like an accident. Tyler does this on purpose. Tyler decided to check out the city of Minneapolis 4 years after George Floyd's death. His experts in this video were Bob Kroll, president of the police union. Good, he'll be able to provide some firsthand insight. But he's also
president of the police union. I'm sure he was calm and level-headed through the George Floyd incident.
Had multiple accusations of using excessive force. He was suspended multiple times for this. Paid out in Tyler never discloses this. Bob's just the calm guy handling things right.
I just released a written statement, and that was within a day or two after, very brief, that, you know, the officers are cooperating in the process. And
all he said was the officers are cooperating in the investigation process. That's all he said, guys. That's all he said.
Be calm and not jump to judgment, and I was currently villainized for that.
Why was that controversial?
I still to this day don't know that answer to that. If you read the statement.
All Tyler had to go with, he says, to answer that, if you read the statement, all Tyler had to do was read the statement he made. All he had to do. I write this on behalf of myself and your Federation Board first. Of all, you have yet to be commended for your outstanding work that you have done this past 5 days. No one with the exception of us is willing to recognize and acknowledge the extreme bravery you have displayed through this riot. You have my utmost respect. Although I have not been visibly present, I am closely monitoring what is occurring. I commend you for excellent police work you are doing in keeping your coworkers and others safe during what everyone expects us refuses to call a riot. Except us refuses to call a riot. Sorry, I'm distracted. You've turned the tide of the largest scale riot that Minneapolis has ever seen. What has been very evident throughout this process is you have lacked support from the top. This terrorist movement that is currently occurring was a long-time buildup which dates back years, starting with minimizing the size of our police force and diverting funds to community activists with anti-police agenda. Our chief requested 400 more officers and was flatly denied. This is what led to his record-breaking riot. Wednesday evening, I spoke with the assistant chief when the siege began on the 3rd Precinct. He informed me that National Guard troops and mutual aid have been enacted. What was held back was the National Guard to deploy. What was held back was the National Guard to deploy until 01 hours Friday morning. What was also held back was the ability for our officers to use gas munitions and less than lethal munitions to defend themselves. Given the right numbers, the right equipment, and your ability to use them would have ended this Tuesday night. I know this because I've been in charge of 3 separate riot situations when the police on the ground had the ability to make the tactical decisions to effectively end this situation. This has been stripped. The politicians are to blame, and you are their scapegoats. I've noted in press conferences from our mayor, our governor, and beyond, how they refuse to acknowledge the work of MPD and continually shift blame to it. It's despicable behavior. How our command staff can tolerate it and live with themselves, I do not know. Does that sound like, hey, we're fully cooperating with the investigation?
Statement, there's nothing controversial about it.
If you actually...
Oh, shit. I missed the second part. When the critical incident took place, the Federation released a brief statement. It was clear, concise, and covered all angles. I will attach to this email. Part of the reason myself and your board have been absent is like you, we simply have been overworked and overwhelmed. I've had numerous conversations with politicians at the state level. I gave a detailed plan of action, including a range of 2,000 to 3,000 National Guard, their deployment allocations throughout our city and St. Paul. In a phone meeting with Senate Majority Leader Paul Gazelka, the Senate was going to try and run the actions that the governor displayed. He is clearly incompetent to do. I've worked with other police leaders from New York to Las Vegas to push our messaging on a national level. What is not being told is the violent criminal history of George Floyd. The media will not air this. I've worked with the 4 defense attorneys that are representing each of our 4 terminated individuals under criminal investigation, in addition with our labor attorneys to fight for their jobs. They were terminated without due process. Another large reason we have not been more vocal beyond our initial press release is the negative impact and safety implications it would have for you trying to do your work. I've been a visible target from the groups conducting this riot, politicians on the left allowing it and encouraging it, and the liberal media. My visibility during this time would only increase your danger. I've received countless death threats throughout this. Your Federation board will not remain silent. It is important for us to get order restored and safety resumed. We do have a lot to say about the failed leadership when the time is right. We've been formulating plans for that. In addition, last night at 03, we had another critical incident. 2 officers fired upon a vehicle that was accelerating on our officers. This, too, is being handled. In closing, I want you to know that your board is working hard on your behalf. We see the heroic work being done. We acknowledge it and commend you for it. Please take care of one another and stay safe. Stay as safe as possible. Thank you.
If you actually pause and read his statement, he calls BLM a terrorist organization and that everything would be fine if they just talked about the violent criminal history of George Floyd. It's him trying to figure out a PR angle.
I just released a written statement that, the officers are cooperating in the process and let's be calm and not jump to judgment.
That's not what that
said.
Letter said at all. Tyler's other expert for this video is Bob's wife, Liz Collins, who made the documentary The Fall of Minneapolis, claiming that Chauvin is innocent. Now, I don't care if you think Chauvin is innocent or not. My point is that nearly everything in this documentary is wrong. The doc claims that instead of showing body cam footage, the prosecution repeatedly showed a still picture of George Floyd getting kneeled on. But that's just not true. If you read articles written by reporters who followed this case, you'll see that they watched different camera angles and video footage 166 times. They claim that Baker, the guy who did the autopsy, changed his report.
The original autopsy was done 12 hours after he was declared dead. The official report that came out a little bit later, I'm told, was changed. After the family had a review by 2 other forensic examiners.
Changed by who? What's your source? He never says we're just supposed to believe it. Baker in the trial testified. I would still classify it as a...
That documentary still has a bunch of Q-tards running around and fucking Trump supporters or whatever claiming all kinds of shit. She made the documentary and it kind of blew up.
Today, but they never mention this in the doc because it doesn't fit their narrative. If you want to interview people that have these conspiracies, do it. I enjoy content like this, but at least look into it beforehand just a little bit. He frames them as if they're entirely right, as if they've uncovered something. Nearly every question and claim she makes in this documentary can be disproven just by reading the court case. Tyler, it's your video. It's not called The Conspiracies of George Floyd. It's called I Investigated George Floyd's Murder. Murder in quotation marks. But really the word investigated should be in quotation marks because you didn't look into anything. Tyler has a video where he goes to Springfield, Ohio and asks about the Haitian cats and geese.
Springfield, Ohio. What was once a small town in Ohio home to roughly 60,000 working class Americans until 20,000 plus Haitian immigrants flooded into town with rumors of them eating the neighbors' cats and local geese.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it?
I've seen a video of a guy getting a Canadian goose, a Haitian dude, and I have rumors of Haitians taking cats.
Tyler's video came out on September 11th, 2024. At this point, that video and picture had already been debunked. The woman eating the cat was not from Springfield. She was from Canton, and she was not a Haitian immigrant. She was American. Authorities have made clear that there's no evidence of cats or any other pets being harmed. As for the goose photo, again, it had already been debunked as a Reddit post dating all the way back to July. It was in Columbus, Ohio, not Springfield, completely irrelevant. As Vince has pointed out, there's no way Tyler can tell if this guy is Haitian or not. 2 days after Tyler posted his video, it was...
No, that's a Haitian. He can tell.
The geese were hit in a car accident, and in that county, that guy's totally in the clear to have them. So in both instances, it's just fake news. And Tyler made a video anyway where residents cited a fake Facebook post as if it was true.
I heard on Twitter that cats are getting kidnapped. Is that true?
Yes, my mom actually seen a post on Facebook. There was Haitians in a white van driving around the neighborhoods collecting cats.
For what?
Skinning
This is the lady that says she's not a Nazi, but if they want to help us clean this up, we'll work with them.
them and eating them. Snyder Park, our actual park. If a Haitian is caught walking the grounds down there, they can get arrested because they're going down there and they're killing the Canadian.
Looking like a whole ass can of gothic busted biscuits.
So they can take them home and eat them.
One guy wildly claims that the Haitians are driving around this truck piling all the cats in the back. No photo, no video. Tyler never asked another resident if this is true.
We've lost a whole bunch of cats. There was a van pulled over that had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was eating them.
Actually?
Yeah.
Not fake news.
Not fake news.
So a van was collecting cats and eating them.
I watched it happen, yeah. Watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police that they was eating them.
You're not joshing with me.
No, I'm almost 50 years old, buddy.
You're not joshing me, are you, man?
No.
No, I'm old.
No.
Well, it must be true then. This is crazy. The entire premise of this video is based off of already debunked claims. Tyler's local expert that he brings on repeats these debunked claims.
So out of pure luck, I met up with Anthony Harris, the guy who went viral for giving this speech at Springfield's town hall.
These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They flipping cars in the middle of the street. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them like.
This guy would later admit he went to town hall and said all of this without ever seeing anything.
The same day I went down there, somebody tagged me in a Facebook status and was like, Anthony, me and my
The same day he went down there, somebody told him on Facebook, but he's never seen any of that.
kid was just in the park, and then they just went up and grabbed a goose and cut his head off and then ran off and was eating it. I said, what the
I kind of think this is funny the other way. Like, if I knew you were going down there to talk shit about somebody, I might just make it up and text you that.
I said, no, why would they do that? And then I went down there and I told the people downtown, like, what's up? Like, what y'all gonna do about this?
Yeah, so somebody told you that. You didn't actually see it.
Never seen that.
I don't even want that in my chat, so no.
Tyler never once asked him if he saw it firsthand.
This guy right here, probably a Haitian dude. Yo, bonjour.
We got a cat right beside him.
Yeah.
Stop! This is funny, but this guy's also spreading actual misinformation about it. Vince would point out a lot of this in his video. Meanwhile, Tyler's response was to lie, say that he wasn't showing the full story.
Vince will selectively only show you one side of the groups of people I interview and not show you the others.
Now that all the immigrants have gotten here, guess what? You're getting new stoplights.
Say hello, they'll smile to you. I don't know how many times I still sleep with my doors open.
Okay, interesting.
And I've never had to worry about it. It's more the Americans.
Here, Tyler is defending a Springfield video by showing a completely different video. It is so dishonest.
Ironically, we may have found the most accepting, loving.
I've heard that. I've heard people have that moral argument, right? Like, it's not hurting anybody kind of deal, but that's not what I talk about.
Town in America, and if I ask you, how can I both co-sign this answer and this answer in the same video?
Because it's not the same video. This is called lying. There's no other way to go about it.
And this answer.
Showing a completely different video. It is so dishonest.
Ironically, we may have found the most accepting, loving town in America, and if I ask you, how can I both co-sign
That's a different video.
this answer and this answer in the same video?
Because it's not the same video. This is called lying. There's no other way to go about it. Tyler really likes to repeat that mainstream media is bought and corrupt.
You want more boots on the ground news like this? That's not limited by what sponsorships will approve or what YouTube will monetize, and that's not bought and paid for like mainstream media. I want to make this YouTube channel fully independent, and I need your help.
That he's becoming a journalist.
Tyler, Oliveira.
He's making a shit ton of money off this too. And every video, it's got to be bigger, a bigger thumbnail. They're doing something crazier. More people are dying. More people are chasing us down that don't exist. Like every time, it's got to be something bigger and better. Just go look at his thumbnails, and you can tell he's obviously not a fucking journalist, dude. If you just go to his channel, I wish we could watch this SNL clip, but I'll get fucking copyright struck. Look at his thumbnails. Does this scream journalism or clickbait? All of these are AI. None of these are anywhere in the video. These are not screen grabs. They're not screenshots. They're not even close to what happens. This is somebody coming out of jail with a clown mask on. And it says the criminal lawyer who frees guilty murderers. But that's what people want. That's how you get the views. Take it on Fox News.
Support his journalistic efforts on Patreon.
Subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Tyler Oliveira for as little as $5 a month. Help support our boots on the ground journalism.
What is it really authentic on the ground journalism when he goes to places and just makes up how in danger he is, fabricates what he sees? His experts then repeat this made-up finding on national television, spreading this information farther. The experts he brings on tend to be critically panned by his peers. Sometimes they even have charges. Investigations being done on them. Never double-checking their claims because he can't use Google. At what point?
All right, let's talk about my town. How do I do this? Okay. I live in a county called Unicoi County. And when Helene come through, we probably weren't as bad as Western North Carolina. We weren't as bad as Western North Carolina, but a lot of our town got devastated. Anything close to the river was devastated. Where I live, my camper fucking floated out the driveway. I had to drag it back. Luckily, we were able to salvage it if the mold doesn't fucking take it over. Campground was destroyed. Multiple buildings, houses, all the way down the river. Communities were destroyed. It was really horrible. And then in the aftermath, of course, nonprofits and people come in and companies and and chainsaw, tree trimming companies and bulldozers and shit. And obviously FEMA comes. Now, I'm not going to argue that FEMA's perfect. Obviously, it's not perfect. There's there's a way to get stuff put in and fill out the paperwork and do this, do that, and send it in. And then you get, the $750 for immediate needs. That's to food and clothes and get a room for the night or groceries to stay with so-and-so or whatever, because you probably lost everything. And then beyond that, they support a lot more, especially if you lost more. So if you keep working through the process, they support quite a bit more, especially if you don't have insurance. They obviously want your insurance to work first, but then beyond that, it works good. And but FEMA isn't there for everything, and they're not going to cover every need. So we had small groups come together, and like a lot of our churches, our schools were turning into donation sites. They were the first ones to close down to get schools started back for the kids. But churches, local businesses stuff, cheap propane and free propane and water and toiletries and all that shit, right? And donating tents and campers. Now, in my town, we're still recovering from it. I don't have a job anymore. Barely have a fucking house. But a lot of people suffered. A lot of people were looking for help. And we had people come together. And there's still these donation sites that you can go to. Just the other day, I got propane's stupid expensive right now to heat with. And we've been on a cold snap. So I got some propane that was donated. Somebody said, hey, they're doing free propane exchanges. You can come get some or whatever. And they sent me out two propane tanks. And I exchanged mine for them for free. So I appreciate all that. I don't want to demean from that. I don't want to take away from that. But FEMA has a job to do. Local charities have a job to do. Local government has a job to do. Insurance has a job to do. And they all do different jobs. And they overlap some. So with that said, I don't want to take away from any of the charity work that people have done. There is a place here in my town that used to be the Ford dealership. Literally, it used to be a car dealership. It was shut down. But the building is still a dealership, right? It's got a showroom and offices up front. It's got a big garage out back with lifts and everything going on. It's still a dealership, a building. Even though the dealership is shut down, it's still a Ford dealership. So that building sat vacant for a long time. And then some guy came in and started setting up like granite countertops were sold there for a while. And then a lot of cars started showing up there. And these were not like just regular busted ass used cars. There's a lot of imports, a lot of fancy, like those Mercedes fucking like 4x4 and 6x6s and Ferraris and Lambos and shit. And people started taking notice. And that place is called MNT. I guess that means Mountain, MNT, Imports, LLC. And the guy that run it, his name is also Tyler Burleson. Okay? Tyler Burleson. He runs this, and it's like a lot of luxury stuff. These are really expensive. These are probably starting at like $60,000 to $80,000. They're super expensive. Plus, he's got supercars there and tricked out golf carts and shit like that. You can see these are photos that I'm showing you are from it, right? Now, he's running this super high-end car dealership. Here's the location here. He's running this super high-end car dealership. This is actually a pretty empty lot. There's usually a ton of these Mercedes things, different supercars, lifted trucks, and then occasionally there'll be some regular used cars. And people were wondering, like, how does he afford this? Because at one time, a guy that I knew wanted to open this up as an auto repair place, and they're like, no, they want way too much fucking for the building. They want like $1.6 million for the building. I can't fucking afford it. So he also has a YouTube channel, but the YouTube channel isn't that crazy, right? Like, you can look up MNT Imports on the YouTube channel, and this is a big-ass commercial property right beside a grocery store, strip mall. Like, it's commercial property right on our main street. Like, this is expensive. This is expensive as fuck. And they couldn't open it up to do car repairs, so we were like, well, I wonder how he's making his money. So this red car here, boom, this Ferrari, was a giveaway car, okay? It was a giveaway car. And they had a big advertisement out front. There was a giveaway. And I wanted to see what it was, so I went to their website to see what the giveaway was. And it was one of those, I think they seem sleazy. Maybe they're all honest. I don't know. I know a lot of YouTube channels do it, where you buy something and you're entered in the giveaway. So buy a T-shirt, you one entrance, or every $5 you spend is an entrance. This is a T-shirt giveaway, okay? And you had to buy a T-shirt and from the T-shirts were $100 a piece, $99 T-shirt, and you were entered to win. I even at the time looked for, if you run a contest like this, you absolutely have to have a no purchase necessary way to win. Right? Send a self-addressed envelope to blah, 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 whatever. You have to have a way to win without making a purchase. Okay? I didn't see it on the website. Maybe I just missed it. I didn't bring it up. I wasn't like trying to take them down or nothing, but I didn't see it on the website. A way to win without making a purchase. So I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. I didn't personally enter. I know people entered or whatever. Now they claim they gave away that car. Anyways, they claim they gave away that car. I can't vouch for that, but they claim they gave away that car. It was either that car or you could take like $80,000 or some shit. Anyways. DODGE, Dodge. When the storm hit, there's another group that travels around natural disasters and stuff like that called the Cajun Navy. Okay? The Cajun Navy. When the storm hit, the Cajun Navy was invited by this place to set up here. So now in front of this building, they got a big tent. You see this camper here? That's going to be part of the story. See that nice-ass camper there in that Dodge? Anyways, the Cajun Navy set up here. They had a big lifted truck, said donations welcome. They were set up here. They started holding donations in their showroom. In this showroom, they started holding donations. And this made some news. So they were on with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon did a show with them. And basically, you can kind of guess the premise of the show was FEMA's not doing shit. People are dying like crazy. We're the only people helping people. And the guy that owns that, holy shit, I cannot spell. The guy that owns that was on the Steve Bannon show. Now, I didn't especially appreciate that coverage, right? I didn't really appreciate that coverage, but he was on that show. And that was what came out of that, basically. So, from that, that's not the right one. Is it the War Room? Anyways, yeah, 1 million followers. Bannon's War Room, sorry. I didn't especially appreciate that coverage because FEMA is helping people. I know it sucks jumping through hoops. I know it sucks doing this, that, the other, whatever. I know that. But also, FEMA is here helping. They were here. And when we disincentivize people to work with FEMA, all people say is, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are like, FEMA ain't doing shit. And I'm like, oh, did you apply? I could probably help you with it because we applied. I could help you apply. And they're like, no, I'm not even trying. I know they're not going to do nothing. That's the wrong impression to give to people. Okay? That's the wrong impression to get. I don't understand how you don't understand this. That's the wrong impression to give to people. Okay? I know how I can find it faster. The people won't apply then. It's silly, it's dumb, it's stupid. Okay? But anyways, they started a nonprofit with Tyler as the head. And with Tyler as the head and this nonprofit, basically the story was, hey, these guys have moved supercars out of their showroom and started putting supplies in there because they won't, because FEMA's not helping anybody, and we need to make sure that they get praise for that. Here you go.
We've been trying to do since day one is just be a resource for the community to have a place to be able to get what they need.
So the news reporter says they moved Ferraris and Lambos out of here to put in baby diapers and wet wipes and formula to help people. And here's the first time they were on Bannon's show.
Overall, what we've basically been trying to do since day one is just be a resource for the community to have a place to be able to get what they need. So whether that's supplies, whether that's housing, whether that's power, whether that's heat.
Now, I don't want to take away from what they actually do good. These people do good. We've gotten supplies from there at time to time, a couple times. They do good. But I'm just talking about the message they're spreading is not great.
Tried to cover transportation. We've been trying to cover the gap across the board for what the community actually needs. What we need going forward is for the government to come in and actually assess the area and pick up where we've left off. What we need is for transportation to be returned back to the community so that they can stand on their own 2 feet and support themselves. We need housing to be able to allow these families to be able to return back to home and remove themselves from being reduced down to tents and campers. And we need to be able to have the permits and the septic inspections and all of those things, and FEMA to be on the ground. After they completed their inspections, they've not followed back up with the people. We need that follow-up. We need these organizations to pick up where they should be and allow these people to get into temporary housing or housing until they can get back whole again. We need the funding and we need the hands on the ground to be able to help us do this. It costs a lot of money to keep the equipment going, to clear the debris. When you've got mom and pops doing that, you've got individual organizations doing that. Our pockets are only so deep. We only have so many resources, and we need the additional support to come in and rebuild the infrastructure, to come in and rebuild, to clear the debris out, to get the neighborhoods ready to be able to have housing back in them again, to be able to give us the permits that we need to be able to get the housing back again. All of those things are vital in order to restoring this area, in order to getting these people back to some sort of normalcy.
Basically, we need the federal government to do their job, to get off their asses and do something about it.
So I'm not that against her message. That was fine, right? We need these resources. We need help. We need people on the ground. We need to make sure people are hearing back from blah, 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 whatever. Okay. Then we hear this. This is at the parts desk.
And send funding down here and help these people, because nobody's helping us except people like us and organizations and churches and mom and pop individuals that, they're not supposed to be doing storm cleanup. We're not supposed to be doing storm cleanup. We're not supposed to be.
I used to work here, by the way. If you're wondering, I told you guys that I co-opted when I was in high school as a mechanic. I won a contest that won a job at the local Ford dealership. This is the parts desk. The shop's just over here off the side. I worked here.
Disaster relief. That's supposed to be FEMA. That's supposed to be, what our government's for, what our tax dollars are for, but that's not what it's being used for. So we need funds to rebuild houses.
If I can ask you a quick question. When you see these, huge sums of money, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars going to foreign countries primarily.
That's not the same money, dude. Imagine not paying your water bill and then saying, well, I sent $200 to pay the light bill. Don't know why they cut my water off.
Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, or even Joe Biden having the nerve in his farewell letter to talk about all the wonderful disaster response that they've carried out, everything that they've done on the climate change and environment agenda. When you're sitting there just asking for the most basic resources, what's your message to Joe Biden? What's your message to this regime?
Take care of your own country. Take care of your own people, your own American citizens, your taxpayers, your veterans, everyone that lives in America that deserves to be taken care of. We don't need to be taking care of other countries
until we take care of our own. I think there should be a priority and a standard. Yes, other countries do need assistance, and we pray for them and our hearts hurt for them, but you have to start at home first. We have to be able to take care of our own country and our own people. We have to start at our backyard with our next door neighbor, the person next to us, and we have to be able to make our own self whole before we can go and help anybody else. It's the time old saying, you can't pour.
In North Carolina, there were literally groups of armed people saying they were hunting down FEMA because they were told that FEMA was stealing supplies
from an empty cup. We've got to be able to help our own self first before we go reaching out and putting our nose in other people's business and enabling them to not help themselves. We have to be able to help our own people first.
We need Trump.
And our audience certainly wants to help. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
We need Trump to do what Trump does. If they would just take the money that they're spending all these illegal immigrants, giving them thousands of dollars a month to live in 5-star hotels, if they would just take that money and send it to down here to help the people that live here, that are from America, and take care of us, we could.
Do I have to tell you that was all a lie?
Still help other countries. He needs to get rid of them just like he said he was going to do. And that's what we hope he'll do.
You've been hit by a devastating flood and people are suffering. What do you think should happen? Fuck those immigrants. Send them home.
If we'll get rid of all that, the money will be there.
We paid for FEMA support.
The media says that American people don't support. Go ahead.
Now here we are needing FEMA support, and yet the same people who paid tax dollars for FEMA support are the same ones taken out of their back pocket to do this relief effort.
Yeah.
Okay, so our audience certainly wants to help you guys out and support you in a way that Joe Biden could never, even if he wanted to. If people want to support your efforts, keep up to date with your relief efforts, where can our audience go to do all of that?
They can go directly to our website to make any donations. It's theaui.org.
Now, I don't blame them for getting the media coverage that they can, right? They work off donations, apparently.
That you can also go to Facebook for the Appalachian United Initiative Facebook page and keep up with everything that we.
And again, I didn't have much of an issue with her message at all. Get rid of them immigrants.
We do on a daily basis. Our location is 901 North Main Avenue in Irwin, Tennessee, 37650. You're welcome to come volunteer with us, lend a hand, send a donation, come be boots on the ground with us here. You know, whatever, we would accept any support or help that we can get.
Our doors are open. They're always open.
Well, God bless all of you. Thank you for doing the just imperative work that you all are doing. Truly, it's an honor to have had you guys on the War Room. I'm sure we will be seeing you soon again.
There have been rumors about this place that people are mistreated or mean to or questioned absurdly amount, but I don't put a whole lot of weight into just rumors on social media. But at the same time, our boy Tyler was also doing YouTube videos. And this YouTube video takes place in one of the hardest hit part of our county, a place called Bumpus Cove. Basically, the river kind of snakes through here. And at this place, where this place was destroyed, the river makes a hard right turn. And there was just too much water for it to make a turn. It took everything off one side of the road. All those houses are gone. It took the road with it. It took them weeks to get back in there. This is a really hard hit place. This is the place where we literally floated in on inner tubes to take them supplies because that's the only way that we could get food and water to them. We had a chain full of people of inner tubes and shit floating on the inner tubes to take these people supplies a few days after the storm happened. Okay, so this is a hard hit place. And he's down there talking about we don't have the equipment, we don't have the manpower, people are just volunteering, we need the Army Corps of Engineers, which is all fine. But then he makes a couple other claims. So let's jump to about 20 minutes in this video. This is the same guy, and let's listen to some of his other claims.
But we also got to clean up all this stuff, all this mud, because it's 3 or 4 foot deep. So once you get back here with heavy equipment, especially with a double wide, you're going to start sinking. So we got to dig down and get back to the regular soil, the hard dirt, before we can do that.
So if you had the ideal crew, what would the equipment be? What would the skill sets be of the volunteers? How much money would it cost and how much time would it take?
Realistically, we need 3 dozers, 3 front loaders, and 2 mid-size excavators down here for 3 weeks to get this graded out and dug out. And that's going to cost anywhere from $120,000 to $250,000. But that's what needs to happen because some of these houses can be put back. But up there, we can't backfill and put houses in for them anymore. So everything in here needs to be bulldozed, graded, and prepped for rebuild. And that's what needs to happen. But you know, that's not what's happening. We got some good guys coming in every once in a while, and they come in and
FEMA doesn't bring in equipment and do that. No, they provide temporary housing, temporary funding.
do a lot. Like this is a lot of work that they got done because he can move material. You know, we got guys down here with mini X's and skid steers. We can't move this amount of material. We need equipment.
You could, but it would take forever.
Like that front loader, 320 cats. You know, we need some big equipment to get this stuff done because if not, it's going to take months and months and months. With what we've got, it would take 6 months to get this back.
They're more about money. They'll reimburse you for stuff and supply. They'll reimburse you for generators, reimburse you for chainsaws. They'll give you your initial funding. They'll reimburse if you get estimates. They'll reimburse contractors coming in to fix something, repair something. Your house is inhabitable again. They'll give you temporary housing, vouchers for temporary housing.
To somewhat normal.
And we don't have that kind of time. Can you tell us a little more about the weather, people in their cars, tents?
All right, here we go.
Already, I mean, we got our first snow yesterday, night before last. Next week it's going to be down 22 degrees for 4 days straight at night. It'll get up to 30s in the day, and then it's going to get a little warmer towards mid-December, and then it'll go back, and it's going to get cold, and the ground's going to freeze, and it's going to be harder to dig. It's going to be harder to move material. It's going to get tough, and especially with the people that are living in tents and their cars, because
that's why we really haven't had an update at the campground. I did one today on TikTok, but it's been down like at night around 0 for like 2 weeks straight. I'm not going out and fucking to a 20-degree high and trying to fucking move dirt and shit. So we'll have more updates when it warms up a little bit.
they're relying on places like our relief center to give them fuel and propane and keep them warm with sleeping bags. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough next 6 months because it's going to get cold, and we don't have the time. We don't have the time to get this rebuilt and get people back in homes. We just don't. We're trying to build temporary shelters for them and get campers in, but one group can only do so much, and we need the help doing it. Whether you want to donate a camper or donate some money so we can buy campers, donate money to help buy shelters for these people, because we've got a list of like 65 people that are living out of tents in their cars and with other people. Basically, a list of people without a home, and we've got property to put tiny homes on and shelters, but we just don't have the funds to make that happen yet. And that's what we're working towards, is to get people into something so they don't freeze, because the cold weather can kill you, and that's a fact. So we got to get people.
That's all true so far.
We got to get people out of the weather, because I think we haven't had a snow in November in like 4 years, and we just had a snow, and we've got more snow coming next week. So I think this is going to be a rough winter.
It is a pretty cold winter so far, situationally, like where we're at. It wasn't last winter was pretty bad too.
With all the weather changes and this flooding happened, we can't put that past us. I mean, we can't say, well, we're probably not going to have a bad winter. We got to think that we're going to have the worst winter that we've ever had, because we got to get people into into shelters and out of the weather. If not, we're just going to lose more people on top of what we've already lost. And they're not telling what the real numbers are. There's 25 to 35,000 people dead.
What? Well, it seems like you just went on a real weird fucking tangent there. What'd you just say?
If not, we're just going to lose more people on top of what we've already lost. And they're not telling what the real numbers are. There's 25 to 35,000 people dead. If you count the homeless, the immigrants, the illegal immigrants, the undocumented people.
He's standing in a community, in a town of 14,000 people. Of 14,000 people. That's the population of my town. So you're saying everybody in my town died twice.
And the U.S. citizens, the documented people, there's 25 to 35,000 people dead between Asheville and here.
Bullshit. There's not that many people between here and Asheville. That many people don't exist between here and Asheville.
And
so obviously I feel like he gets his media from a certain side, and he's willing to repeat that media because these are not official numbers. He's like, the government will never tell you that because they got to win a re-election.
They're never going to report that. The White House administration's got to look good. They can't put a bad face on. It was election year. Even though they already lost, they might as well come out and tell the truth. But I don't think our government knows how to tell the truth about anything. So, but we don't want to lose any more people. I mean, it's nobody wants to lose people. Nobody wants to lose their family members. And some of these.
So anyways, from that, this place, which he's no longer associated with, I don't want to give this place a bad name. Okay, I don't. This place is called United Appalachian Initiative, UAI, UAI.org. If you want to donate to them, donate to them. They are out here working and doing things. He's no longer associated with them. He was, but he's no longer. A post comes out from them. And this post says, I'll just go grab it. I'm sorry, AUI, Appalachian United Initiative. I said it wrong. AUI.org is their website. TheAUI.org. God damn it. I wish I'd have got the website right. Okay. TheAUI.org. Now, they make a post here. That's the same showroom. See it, the lights and everything, the same showroom. Need propane? No charge. Bring your empty propane tanks to the relief center today for an exchange or fill up. There you go. As long as supplies last. Is the post still up? Okay. And we get this post. This is how it all kicked it off. No comments allowed. Unfortunately, a personal legal matter has arisen involving one of our board members concerning matters not related to AUI. Not related to AUI. In order to maintain our commitment to honesty, integrity, and transparency, we are disclosing this information and our actions. The board member has been relieved of their position to create greater separation and provide confidence in our mission. We have issued a written notice and filed the appropriate legal documentation to update our board member statuses. As of now, we will serve the community and lease the space at 901 North Main Avenue in Irwin. We will continue to provide all donations and resources out to the community members who need them most, with ongoing support of other distribution centers and leaders who have walked beside us to ensure all donations are distributed with honor, integrity, and efficiency. We will always make every effort to be transparent, and will keep you informed as any changes occur with our organization. Please know this decision was not made out of concern for any mishandling of donations or supplies, only due to decisions that do not align with our mission statement and bylaws. Thank you for your continued support and understanding. And it says, sincerely, Misty, the treasurer, and Cammie, the secretary. Now, Tyler's not mentioned in that, so obviously Tyler's going to be the one that was removed. So this comes out. Okay? Now back to Steve Bannon. Tyler was arrested and put in jail for check fraud, right? Worthless checks, bouncing checks. Tyler is able to go on with Steve Bannon calling from jail. Let's see
you're in and
what happened.
Tyler Burleson joins us now from jail. I think we can pull this off. Tyler, what jail you're in, and why are you in jail? You should have been on the greeting committee for President Trump. You did more than anybody. Your group down there, you laid it on the line. You were able to expose FEMA. It's one of the reasons. Now, President Trump got feedback from many, many other people also, but it builds that layering that he says, finally, hey, I'm getting rid of FEMA. So what jail are you in, and why are you there, sir?
I'm in Unicoi County Jail. They picked me up on a bad check, which I rectified in the same day, literally before I went out in front of the judge. And
picked him up on a bad check. I want you to pay attention. Which I rectified on the same day. Now, what is his definition of rectified? I don't know. But he says on the same day I went in front of the judge. That is much more different. That is extremely, there's an extreme difference between I rectified it on the same day I went in front of the judge and the same day I wrote it. So it's one thing to write it, or the same day I was made aware that it was bad, right? It's one thing to write a check. You got to say, hey, the check bounced, and you hand him a briefcase full of cash and say, I don't know what happened, right? No one's going to make a fuss over that. It's a whole lot different if this guy has been trying to get this amount of money from you for months and months and months, and the day you finally go in front of the judge, you finally have somebody pay him, right? You see the difference there? If you write me a check for $100,000 for services rendered, and I say, and 3 days later I say the bank said the check bounced, and you're like, oh shit, here's $100,000 cash. I'm sorry, must have been an account issue. But if you write me a check for $100,000 and 3 days I say the check bounced, you ignore me, you're out of town, I can't get a hold of you, I've been trying to get my $100,000 for 3 months, and then you finally get arrested and you call your buddy Joe and say, hey, Joe, you were going to have to take that guy. You were trying to steal from me. There's a big difference.
And he still held me in jail with no bond. Didn't give me any chance. The DA said, the county is better off with you in jail, and that's where you deserve to be. And the only thing I can think of is they don't want me exposing every angle and every piece of authority that's had something to do with this.
So they don't want you exposing FEMA. So we live in a county. Let me lay out the scenario for you. I live in a county that voted 88% Trump. That includes the police and the judges. 88% Trump. In a county that voted 88% Trump. They picked you up on fraudulent check because they didn't want you meeting with Trump and telling them FEMA did a bad job? Make that make sense. Because I can tell you right now, just from living in this county, that I could go to the courthouse, and I would say 99% of the people that I talk to in there are going to have your exact same political beliefs. Exactly. To a T. That's just the county I live in. I fucking hate it. But they locked you up so you wouldn't tell on the federal government?
Tyler, when he says the county's better with you in jail, given all the work you've done and President Trump's coming and Real America's Voice and War Room just happened to be at your place 10 days before, and people should know we made a big deal about that behind the scenes, and I'm not saying it's the reason President Trump went there. I'm not saying it's the reason President Trump's offering aid, but it was one of the many...
Okay, that was one of the reasons President Trump went there. By the way, Steve Bannon and his show know so little about this situation. They called us Unicorn County, North Carolina. We made a big deal about it. That's why President Trump went there. Did he get lost looking for Unicorn County, North Carolina, and just end up in Asheville? Is that what happened? I'll show you the post. It says, we're going to find out what's going on in Unicorn County, North Carolina. We made a big deal about it. I would say that's probably why Trump went there. Yeah.
Elements that I think got President Trump to say, hey, if I'm going to L.A., I'm going to go see my people first. I'm going to go to Appalachia. I'm going to go to Western North Carolina, because he went there before and he's shocked and stunned and angry that nothing's been done. So why they consider you a danger? What do they say specifically? Why are you a danger to the county given everything you've done? And President Trump happens to be coming on a topic.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. But if I had to guess, it was hard for this guy to get a hold of him to get paid. There's 2 deals here now that are both fucked. And I would say there may be more people coming forward, and there'll probably be more charges, and that's why they don't want him gone right now, because they're getting ready to place more charges. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. That's a guess. Don't hold me to it. That's a guess.
That you brought to national and actually, quite frankly, international global attention, sir?
Oh, because I'm trying to expose everything that they're not doing. You know, they set up the armory, and they're not helping even a quarter of the people that we're helping. I mean, one of the officers yesterday told me that we have literally not done anything for our community, when you can clearly see it. And the numbers.
By the way, he's got all these statements that he can't. An officer that arrested me told me I hadn't done anything for the county. He keeps saying our county. I think he just moved here. I don't even think this is his county. I can't be sure. I'm pretty sure he was over. If Nick's still here, wasn't he in Carter County first? Wasn't that his county?
Show it, and our paperwork shows that we support 60 to 120 people a day. And he looked me in the eyes and told me that we were not doing anything for our community, that the county did more for everyone than we did. And I think that's part of the problem, is they're trying to stop us from exposing that.
Wait, the county isn't FEMA, so is it exposing FEMA or is it exposing the county?
Tyler, where can people go to get information? Has Misty still got the Facebook site up? Where can people go to find out about?
Well, he's no longer part of that.
Your cause, your case, all of it. We will stay on top of this with the great Ben Berkwan, but I want people now to know we got a big Saturday audience throughout the world. Where do people go right now to find out more about this?
There's the Facebook page, the Appalachian United Initiative, and then
the _real_Nick_Fana just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you for the gifted sub.
This call will be terminated in 2 minutes.
I'm about to get cut off. I got 2 minutes left. There's Facebook, Appalachian United Initiative, and the AUI.org. And I mean, as far as me being arrested, it's all public record.
Tyler, we'll be on this. I know how prison phones work, so I'm going to get cut off. God bless you, and we'll stay on top of this, okay?
Thank you.
Be safe.
Wild. So Steve Bannon comes out posting that, here you go, we're going to make the judge who put Tyler Burleson famous on Monday. This man was put in jail in Unicorn County, North Carolina. He was scheduled to speak with President Trump. No, he wasn't. But this day before the judge decided to put him in jail, he had actually rectified the situation. So they're just repeating some bullshit, right? They're just repeating some bullshit. So, the only way to get to the bottom of this, because I've heard rumors, I've heard about him, he screwed this guy, he did this guy. One way that I think we can start to visualize what's going on here, imagine the guy bounces a $30 check at the grocery store. He comes back same day, pays $30. You think he's going to jail for that? Maybe, if it's a conspiracy to keep him away from Trump. Never can tell, right? Or we could go look at his Google reviews. Now, there's only 13 of them. And let's see what this first one says. I bought a Defender from Tyler back in 2023, December 2023. He told me that the sale paperwork was in the mail. I haven't received that yet. It has been 4 months now. 3 weeks ago, Tyler told me that the title was on the way. Still haven't received that. Won't call me back. Gives me excuses every day as to why he hasn't sent me the title yet. Won't even send me a picture to prove that he has the title. Tyler, I'd gladly take this review down once I have the title to the Defender that you sold me, or at this point, I'll just take my money back. I'm sick of dealing with your lies and broken promises. So that's $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Avoid this business at all costs. I hired him to work on my vehicle in November 2023 and paid $9,000 up front. Tyler promised the work would be done by March and even said he wanted to have it done by the end of December. However, months went by, and by March, then June, and even July, the vehicle was still untouched, despite repeated assurances that they had started or would start soon. When I checked back in August, the vehicle was still sitting there untouched. At this point, I got my vehicle back and asked for a refund. At first, Tyler said the refund would be ready, and then he was conveniently out of town when I went to meet him. He then said it would be ready the following week, and that was 30 days ago. Tyler has been ignoring my calls and texts regarding a refund. He keeps making excuses and claims that the money is on the way, but I haven't seen a dime. This company is dishonest, untrustworthy. Don't make the same mistake I did. Stay far away from this business. There's another $10,000. Stay away from this whole family. They're absolute crooks. We purchased, now this is a big one. This is a big one, okay? Listen. We purchased a camper from them. Remember that Google Earth video I showed you, that big, nice, expensive camper? We purchased a camper from them. After they received full payments, they were supposed to deliver it. After a week of excuses, I went to pick it up myself. 3 weeks later, we still haven't received a title, so I start calling back to find out why, but more excuses. Today, I get a call from the police. This is 5 months ago, by the way. 5 months ago. Today, I get a call from the police saying they took the RV, the camper, in on consignment. And the original owner is suing for a $55,000 bad check. I paid $65,000. That's $120,000. 55 over here, 65 over here. That's $120,000. They took our $65,000 and didn't pay off the loan for the RV. So now we're all stuck in a lawsuit against Tyler, Trey, and Doug, the other people in that video with the woman. Do not believe anything this family says. There's a special place in the South for them. They had it. So this has nothing to do with FEMA. This was all months and months and months and months of people trying to get hundreds of thousands of dollars that he owed them before the storm even happened, before anybody knew the storm was going to happen, before it even got cold. This is all back in the summer. They had a Defender giveaway and had it posted as a $25 25-day giveaway. So got a few shirts to enter the giveaway. Then that was taken down and it was posted as a regular giveaway. 5 months later, I asked about my shirts and was told the shipment was lost for 2 months. But it was found and will be shipped out. That was on July 8th. No shirts. Ordered a product from them. Oh, I guess I can show you his website. So this is what he sells on his website. There's their Land Rover Defender, our shortest giveaway. This is what he sells on his website to be entered for a giveaway. Ordered a product from them, never got it, contacted multiple times, and the first contact, they went ghost mode. Don't waste your money. Tyler makes a lot of promises and never holds up to his word. Be careful dealing with him. This guy's a scam artist. Please don't give this clown a penny of y'all's hard-earned money, and definitely don't take any vehicles to him. This place is a joke. The person I dealt with is the biggest crook, liar, and his word has absolutely no value. Then we have a couple good reviews. Awesome cars, great people. Can't wait to get my Ferrari. I think this is the guy that might have won it, or maybe he was trying to win it. Very comfortable place. Would definitely recommend. This is 1 star, 3 star, and a 5 star from 7 months ago. So do you think that this is to keep Tyler, a guy only Steve Bannon knew from Unicorn, North Carolina, away from Donald Trump so he can expose FEMA? Or do you think it's because hundreds of thousands of dollars have been, and car deals aren't just like a joke, dude. It's not like I fucked somebody over on a fucking dime bag of weed, right? When you're selling cars, and RVs are the same way, and they have titles and registration and tagging authority, that's all controlled by the state, and you're not paying for them, not delivering titles, and still fucking operating a car dealership, that's no fucking joke. That's no fucking joke. So maybe our county that voted almost 90% for Trump is trying to hide this guy from Trump and save face for FEMA. Or maybe this guy has stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars. Could you imagine buying a fucking car or a camper? You're waiting on the title in the mail. You get a temporary tag or whatever. I guess you don't even need that with a camper in Tennessee. And the cops show up to seize it because even though you bought it legitimately and paid $65,000 for it, the person that the dealer bought it off of didn't get paid, and it's technically still their goods because they didn't get paid a dime. This is wild, dude. Wild. And not to mention, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you go to some of these Irwin groups that like talk about Irwin and shit, they're posting videos. So this is good for the charity here. Thank you, Appalachian United Initiative, for all the support you have given me over the last 3 months. You're dedicated to your mission is admirable. Bless you and your continued service to Irwin. We need you and appreciate all the things you do. My tiny house is perfect. So they got them a tiny house. See this little tiny house in the background? That's awesome, right? So I don't want to knock the charity. Again, there's a difference between the charity and the person that was head of the charity. There were some people that were very upset to begin with, saying things like, he come into our county like he owned the place, wasn't very excited about the way he acted, was commanding people around. I don't even know if he's from here. Seems like a scam artist. Seems like there was some very, very, very upset people that had to deal with him. Now, I don't know him other than the few times that I've ran into him. Yeah, I don't think any of that's true. I saw your text message. I just don't think any of that's true. Here you go. If you watch between 24 and 26 minute mark, you'll understand why this guy really is all about. I'm referring to the 25 to 35,000 people that he said are still missing between Asheville, North Carolina, Irwin, Tennessee. This is also where he keeps asking for donations again and again and again. Let's read the comments. Amen, sister. I have friends that live in that community. They did not receive anything. This guy came through this community acting like he owned it. I'm glad to see he's finally paying it for everybody he has stolen from. This is all lies. It makes me so mad they keep using our little community like we're a bunch that knows nothing. The houses sure are not being built by him. ASP is one of those building those with some help from the church in the area. They have drove by and put pics on here saying that they were helping or building. Then when I'm sorry, we're in redneck America. Then when is all this all going to stop for Embryville or Little Germany? That's the communities I was talking about. They didn't build the road there either. Locals were cutting their way in and out. I would like the names they keep referring to in Little Germany they helped. My home place is one that washed away. The other two are my family also. So who are they helping? Sorry, not us. He walks through our community acting like he owns this whole place. He makes me sick. Makes me physically sick. I think it's all about to come out. Pulling someone like Steve Bannon to stir shit is not going to better his cause at all. Was there ever any children taken from their families in Unicoi County because of homes being destroyed? He clearly states that in this video. He claims that people that lost their homes are having their kids taken by CPS. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Somebody says, I'm confused. Who did he steal from? The video doesn't have anything about him stealing from. It just shows his character. That's the video we just watched where he said the 25 to 35,000. So this is what we just heard. So allegedly, the claim is now that Tyler has dirt on the guy who runs our emergency management system and FEMA, and how FEMA is giving him tons of money to line his pockets. That's the new claim. I don't fucking believe it. I think this guy is a goddamn scam artist. And it's catching up with him. Like I don't think, maybe he 100% just wanted to help people. He got some bad information on the 35,000 people dead. He's doing donations. He's doing tiny homes. He's doing equipment. Maybe that's it. That could all be true. But 6 months ago, when he was stealing $65,000 campers from people and bouncing checks to pay them, and they tried to hunt him down for 6 months, he deserves to be in jail. He deserves to be in jail. I don't know this man, and yes, there's still people missing in Western North Carolina, but I don't think the population between Irwin and Western North Carolina is even 25 to 35,000. Anyone that believes there are 25,000 people missing due to this flood should have their voter registration card revoked. Where was, there's another guy here in the comments. If I can find him. He owns a car dealership. Here in town. And I saw him in the replies. Damn it, I might not be able to find it. Or he may have deleted it. Here we go. I'm confused. Who did Tyler Burleson steal from? When I watched this YouTube, he only expressing the help that was slow to come by the government. What am I missing here? He has opened his place of business up for people to get donations. What has he done that has everyone hating him? And then someone says, Appalachian United Initiative has parted ways with him. And then Kevin Allen, he owns a car dealership, a legitimate one that's been in business for when I was working at the Ford place in high school, was when Kevin left the Ford dealership and opened his own used car dealership. So fucking 20 plus years. No one said they hate him. It's him taking credit for things he didn't do and stealing donations that were meant for people affected by the disaster. Listen, here's something that I want to say full-throated, right? Full fucking throated, as Elon Musk would say. If you're going to steal $120,000 on a camper deal from two different people and leave them both fucked. I do not want you receiving donation funds that are meant for my community to rebuild after a natural disaster. If we know that you've stolen $120,000 on a camper deal, I do not want you receiving any of the funds that are meant to go to my community. I don't want you going on Steve Bannon and asking people for them. I don't want those funds that are supposed to be going to me and my community. Me, I was affected by the storm. You weren't. I don't want you handling that money at any point in time. I don't trust you with it. And maybe you say, well, you're profiling him. That was over a camper deal and a car giveaway and a car he sold, and this is something different. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want you handling those funds. Tyler's a very bad person. He'll probably be in jail for many years. He's played the game for a long time. Yep, he did us wrong. I saw a video. Oh, this person's in here sometimes. They watch the show. So I saw a video on Instagram. He was trying to say that he was locked up before Trump came here, so he couldn't expose the corruption happening here. And I had to comment, say some things straight. Like, for one, Trump didn't come to Irwin. And even if the guy had not been in jail, he still wouldn't have seen Trump and talked to him. I also told them they were over-exaggerating his role and importance within the community and how there's been a lot of complaints about him and the people associated with him. In the video, they literally say, Tyler has done more than anyone else to help these people. What a farce. They watch the show sometimes, so there you go. I think that's the sentiment around what's going on. I do not think that he's being held away from Trump for some nefarious plots. I wonder if we go to... There's a repeat of the War Room interview.
Tyler Burleson joins us now from jail. I think we can pull this off. Tyler, what jail you're in, and why are you in jail? You should have been on the greeting committee for president. You did more than anybody. Your group down there. You laid on the line. You're able to expose FEMA. It's one of the reasons.
You did more than anybody. You laid it on the line. I don't want to get in a pissing match, but we all did quite a bit.
I've got feedback from many, many other people also, but it builds that layering that he says, finally, hey, I'm getting rid of FEMA. You know how prison phones work, so they're going to get cut off. God bless you, and we'll stay on top of this, okay?
Thank you.
Be safe.
So then, the War Room basically says, the War Room and Steve Bannon basically comes out and says, we're going to put these people on notice. We're going to, I shouldn't have done that, should I? I should have done Steve Bannon. We're going to put these guys on notice that if Tyler's not released, we're going to start releasing the names of the judges and the police officers and the people that put him in jail. That's fucked up, dude. Right? Is it not? What was it called? Bannon's War Room or something like that? Yeah, there it is. I want to see how they wrote it out. Was it a post from him or from his one of his editors? Appalachian Injustice, live from prison. He's in a jail that houses like 20 fucking people. Appalachian Injustice, live from prison. FEMA failures in North Carolina, local hero jailed. Coming straight from Unicorn County, North Carolina. At Ben Burke-Quam exposes government for jailing patriotic hero who tries to help North Carolina communities. They don't even have the state right, guys. I wanted to see the first part that had the interviewer talking. 10 days after the initial War Room interview, just one day before President Trump's official visit to North Carolina flood areas, Burleson was arrested for writing a bad heck. He explained, saying he had already rectified the bad check, but was still jailed on charges he claims are politically motivated. Bannon and Bergwam did not dispute the charges, but wonder about the timing, especially in the face of historical suffering in the community at the time. It isn't something we could have waited, Bannon asked. They did, for 6 months. Speaking from jail, Burleson described his ordeal. They picked me up on a bad check. I already rectified it. The judge held me with no bail. The DA said the county's better off with me in jail. Tension. Bannon and Bergwam saw Burleson's detention as no coincidence, mainly since it occurred just before President Donald Trump visited the area. This is a banana republic-style injustice, Bergwam declared. He's being silenced because he's exposing FEMA and local officials. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit.
Appalachia, I'm going to go to Western North Carolina.
The least phony people I've ever met. Tyler Burleson was arrested for attempting to expose an apathetic county in Appalachia. He paused his business to help the community. His business can't be doing that well, dude. The inventory never fucking changes. It's high-end luxury cars in a historically bad economy.
Because he went there before and he's shocked and stunned and angry that nothing's been done. So why they consider you a danger? What are they?
We're going to have to go watch the whole fucking video? It's one of these weekend videos from 3 days ago, but they're all clipped up, aren't they? Oh, what about the live? I've watched the whole thing, but I can't remember when. No, 1 day ago. Why am I saying 3 days ago? Senate nomination. I don't see it. Maybe it's listed as 2 days ago.
When a cyber thief
I know I watched it on my phone.
It's a race against time.
Introducing the Ungun, the non-lethal
Oh my God.
defense plan.
Forget it.
Lightweight and
You
simple.
got ads.
Again, they're
for loss. Lay there a fire.
Mr.
I don't think they have video history, do they, on it doesn't matter. Fuck it. I watched the full segment. As soon as people said, he's live. Oh, right here, maybe? No, that's just 3 minutes. That's the same one.
Burleson joins us now.
This guy did the little segment before the show. That's all I was looking for. This guy right here did a segment before saying, well, I went out there and this place is suffering and he's one of the only guys that's helping anybody. That's all I wanted was the reporter. But that's all we got now. So there you go. That's my take on it. It's amazing how many fake ass fucking pieces of shit, scammers, liars, people fucking calling and reporting people, snitches that came out ever since this happened. Like, I know they exist, but since this flood has happened, everybody's talking about coming together and helping each other. Bullshit. Most of them are looking for a hand up or a handout or to fuck you over somehow. I don't know. It's just fucked up. Either way, thank you guys for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. It's 1:30 in the morning. There's my 2 Tylers I covered tonight. Sorry I was late. I've been kind of depressed and down. But we'll get back after it. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully earlier. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you do that at coldbeer.fund. We're still struggling in the aftermath of the storm. No jobs, shit like that. So if you want to help out, do that at coldbeer.fund, where you can use any of the links listed there. The easiest one's probably just the PayPal link. You can use credit card, debit card, PayPal account, whatever. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We'll see you about on the next one. Support the like I said, support the show if you wanted to keep going. Enjoy the content. If not, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Oh. Have a good one, guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit.
I can't talk about the court cases and stuff right now.
Stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better fuck.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. Relevant topics, at least, I guess.
I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. What are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get...
Good night, guys.
The place in the best. You know that stage is